Strahd.
Sound effects are getting better every episode.
So today we're going to continue the Curse of Strahd campaign that we started previously. And so let's start with a quick reintroduction. I'll shoot to each of you and please have you describe very briefly, like 1 or 2 sentences, who your character is. All right? So first we have Nutty Nukchus.
Hello, everyone. My character is Shadow, and Shadow is a druid who comes from... I don't think I've gotten into that yet. Yeah, but she's a druid. She likes to talk about being a bear and a wolf sometimes.
Yeah, she's an elf.
Yes, and a wood elf. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Nobilis.
I am playing Jazric, a haunted ranger with a dark past.
Mm-hmm. And Mark Kilfoyle.
I'm playing Periwinkle Peartree, but you can call me Perry. A little halfling with twice as much spirit, all in the light of Lathander.
And Lee Burdett.
I'm playing Honor, the Tiefling Ranger, who has absolutely no understanding of all of you weird people, and she's just kind of going with the flow for the moment.
I can drink to that.
All right, so if I can continue to, let's see, continuing to do, looks like the stream is doing what I want it to do, or at least it seems to be, so let's go ahead and do a recap of the last time. I've gone ahead and written something up so you guys don't have to recall. Try to cover the broad strokes, so to speak. So, we began with a party in a tavern when a mysterious man who introduced himself as Aragal delivered a letter to you, which he said was from his master, Kolyan Indirovich, the burgomaster of the town of Barovia. And the letter requested help in defeating a great evil and saving Irina, the love of his life. As you make your way into increasingly dark and misty woods, you find an enormous gate that opens by itself, welcoming you to the land of Barovia. It then closes behind you, also by itself, suggesting that you stay a while. On your way through the woods, you found a corpse killed by wolves and bearing another letter, this one actually from the burgomaster, and warning people away from Barovia. Upon reaching the gloomy town of Barovia, the party explores. After a while, Julius, who is not present right now, is startled by a group of ravens and then makes excuses to leave for a moment and has not been seen since. In your exploration, you encounter a few people of note. Mary, a.k.a. Mad Mary, a woman distraught over her missing daughter Gertruda, who she fears has been taken by the devil Strahd, an evil vampire who rules the land and takes anything beautiful away. Perry promised her to rescue Gertruda. Ismark Kolyanovich, the son of the late burgomaster, is a friendly man who wishes to enlist the party to escort his sister to the walled city of Vallaki, or at least somewhere she will be safe from Strahd. Irina Kolyana, the adopted sister to Ismark, has been visited and bitten twice by Strahd already, and she and Ismark feel that the next visit will be the one where he takes her away. She didn't trust the party at first, but has come around since her brother vouched for them. She also wants to leave the town, but insists that her deceased father be laid to rest in the graveyard first. You also met Alenka, Mirabelle, and Sorvia, the Vistani owners of the Blood on the Vine Tavern. They call Ismark the Lesser and think he is weak. They are more interested in finding out why the Wizard of Wine's latest delivery is late. And last but not least, you met Father Donovich, the priest of the town church, who is exhausted and distracted by something. Jasric and Honor arrange with him for a funeral to occur on the following dawn. They also studiously ignore the strange voice screaming from the church undercroft. So, that is where we pick up our let's see, I'm changing the, there we go. Get you some ambiance. All right. I think this one's a little quiet. It's going. You hear that?
Yes.
Good. it's a little quiet. But so, here's where
Is
we
that from
left.
Is that from Tabletop Audio?
Yes, and good point, because they are royalty free with attribution. So Tabletop Audio is providing the ambiance here.
Well, that's because they have great attributes, and I like all of their attributes.
Yes, I agree. So here's where we are. We have Honor and Josric, who have just finished digging the grave that will be used for the funeral in the morning. It is starting to. The sun is very low in the sky. Even if it's hidden behind clouds, you can see that there's not much light left in the day. And in fact, as the sun begins to set, a storm cloud it seems to be rolling in from the west. And it's starting to even rain just a little bit, just a little drop here and there, but you get the feeling that there's a lot more on the way.
Honor, we should get back to the house.
I was just about to say that. And probably want to hurry.
Yes.
We give the priest a polite but quick goodbye and head on our way back to the house.
And he bids you travel safely and don't go out after dark. It's not safe. And so you begin making your way, south, back through town. And it's starting to get dark because with it being so overcast already, even just as the light pours out of the sky, you can already see these deep black shadows growing longer and longer, filling pools and alleys with just black shadows.
I'll light a torch.
All right. You can still see well enough, but it's ominous for sure. And so you pass through the town square, you pass through, or rather near, you see where the tavern is, and you pass the mercantile again. You also pass Mary's house. You're heading back to the burgomaster's mansion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so you make your way all the way there, and in fact you also pass that little house that you had inspected to see if it was occupied and discovered that it was, in fact, occupied. So, probably when you arrive, so Perry and Shadow, you were with Ismark and Irina in the mansion. Would you have locked the door and rebarricaded it after Honor and Jasric had gone?
I think we probably followed their lead. They kept it locked most of the time, and for their sake alone, for the well-being of their mind, I might suggest we go ahead and lock it up. But we know our friends well enough.
All right. So
still waiting for Julius too, by the way.
Yeah. Yes. So Jasric and Honor, you probably find the door is closed when you arrive back.
Knock on the door. Heyo, we're back.
What's the secret knock?
Hello?
All right, there's Tim. Hello, welcome.
Sorry I'm so late.
That's all right. We got started a little bit, but it's perfect timing because, and I'm just checking my stream, and sure enough, I planned it well enough that you popping in has not disrupted my layout for the stream.
Oh,
yay!
perfect.
So basically, Tim, why don't you take just a moment? This is Tim Dodge, everyone, and just briefly, in a sentence or two, describe the character that you're playing.
I am an SMR Paladin, and I am shoot, I should have my character sheet in front of me. And it's been 2 weeks since we played, so I'm drawing a blank. Let me pull my
go ahead
character
and hop
sheet
into Roll20 also. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, here we go. And I have to click on join game, don't I? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't need the tutorial.
All right, so
Yes.
so
my
you've
character's
introduced
name is Julius.
Yes.
Yes. I'm Julius, an SMR Paladin.
So basically, Julius, last time you kind of ran off. You disappeared. They don't know where you went. Are you ready to try to reunite with your companions?
Yes.
So how are you going about doing that? It's starting to get dark. The sun is going down. Shadows are really long and spooky, and a storm looks like it's blowing in.
Okay. Well, I had to leave the tavern for a bit, and I've finished my business, and so I'm heading back to the tavern.
Okay. So you make your way back to the tavern and head inside, and Ismark's not there. Your friends aren't there. The three women who are, in colorful dresses sitting at that same table are sitting there, and the bartender is also there, and they look up at you and giggle and say, like, so the mystery man returns.
Yes. It appears that my friends have left without me. Did they say anything to you about where they might have been heading?
Well, they were looking for you last we saw them.
Oh. Any idea what direction they may have gone in?
Well, they went off with that, the burgomaster's boy, Ismark the Lesser.
Oh, okay.
I would suspect you may find them with him.
Okay. All right. I thank them and I leave the tavern.
All right. So they would have also directed you had you asked that the burgomaster's mansion is at the south end of town.
Right. Yeah. Didn't we see that during our cruising?
Oh yes, you did. That's right. Because
Yeah.
you had not been inside, but you were there
We
when
knocked on the door.
you knocked and Arena wouldn't let you in.
Right. So I start heading in the direction of the mansion.
Right. Okay, so basically I would say as Jasric and Honor are knocking, that's when you approach the mansion to find that they are at the front door knocking.
Oh, okay, good. And I shout a greeting. And
Julius,
Hey. Yes.
where have you been? You
I-
ran off without a word.
This is a bit embarrassing. Let me just ask you before I give my explanation. Did anyone else find that the food at that tavern disagreed with them at all?
You saying you had a stomach ache?
If only it were just a stomach ache. I'll spare you the details, but they were unpleasant.
You seem hale and healthy now.
I'm feeling much better.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Sometimes one just needs to purge oneself.
Mm-hmm.
So, Honor, what is your take on the return of your your friend here?
I'm going to ask Anubis to check him out and make sure he is who he says he is.
Anubis kind of stalks forward, ears back a little bit. Turns back to look at you and wags his tail a little bit.
Okay.
I seem to have passed clearance.
Yes.
That's not the only thing I passed, but we won't get into it.
So Perry and Shadow, you probably heard the knocking from the front.
Yeah, Perry called out to them. He
Oh,
asked,
okay.
what's the secret knock?
Oh, right, yes. That was when Tim joined. So, yes, what's the secret knock?
I don't actually remember the secret knock. Do you remember the secret knock?
I don't personally, but I am absolutely positive that Jazzak remembers. We give the secret knock.
The secret knock is
All right. So you give the...
It's a hollow door.
Yeah, do it without the pop filter.
All right, then that seems like them. Open up the door.
All right.
Julius,
Yes.
where the devil have you been?
Let me go ahead and get Julius, his icon down there with you guys.
I found myself suddenly under the weather, but I am on the mend.
where did you go?
Back to the woods.
That's a long walk for a bad stomach. I tell you, always line with wine. Then you're never going to complain.
You had
Yeah,
one drink,
it
man.
wasn't what I was actually feeling in the mood for at the time. I will just say that as far as a long walk to the woods, yes, it was. It was an extremely long walk, but bears aren't the only ones who do it there.
Hey,
If you can't trust the cooking, then always line with wine. You can trust the cooking if I made it.
Right. Ismark it kind of comes over to you, Perry, and kind of leans down and just says, "Does he seem all right? I know he was with you before, but it's dangerous to go off alone around here."
Oh, I take a look at Julius. Julius, are you all right?
As I said, I'm on the mend.
I mean, it's hard to tell. You never look green. More look blazing white and red.
Jazric points to Honor with his thumb and says, "She trusts him."
Well, you know.
So let me tell you what you see inside here, Julius. As you enter the mansion, the interior of the mansion is well furnished, but the fixtures show signs of great wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded up windows and the presence of holy symbols in every room. The burgomaster, dead, is in a side drawing room on the floor, lying in a simple wooden coffin, surrounded by wilting flowers and a faint odor of decay. And you should have in your journal, let me make sure, you should have the handout. Make sure that you have the
Irina?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's her, and she's kind of standing, she's a little standoffish, a little aloof, but she has not protested with your entrance or anything, but she's looking at you a little warily, perhaps just because you didn't arrive with the others and with her brother.
Just to explain a little bit, Julius, the Burgomaster was dead when we got here. That's not something we did. And she was suffering a little bit, but I took good care of it.
I see. How long has the Burgomaster been dead? It looks like this room has been neglected for some time.
Ismark says he's been dead for 3 days. We've had a rough time of it since then, but before that, nearly every night the house is assaulted by minions of Strahd, and my father's heart gave out. Which reminds me, and he turns to Jazric in honor, were you able to speak with Father Donovich?
Yes, we've scheduled the funeral for dawn.
Ah, yes, good.
We'll leave as soon as it's safe to move.
And,
So you say his heart gave out. Are you sure it wasn't a minion of Strahd who may have poisoned him? Or otherwise harmed him?
Irina says, it's possible, but we have no way of knowing. He was very stressed and distraught. We all were terrified every night, so his heart giving out seems like it makes sense, but if it was something else, I don't know how we could ever tell.
Well, you can look a little bit for poisons and such. I could take a closer look at the body. I spent a little time with him.
I mean, if you want to make another medicine check, you can.
I did last time, didn't I?
Yeah, like he doesn't, the body doesn't have any obvious wounds, and he looks 3 days dead.
Right.
So the
He's
evidence
looking
is
rough from
superior.
death.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's very possible that that it was his heart. I just given what's going on around here, I wouldn't rule out foul play. But that's neither here nor there. The Burgomaster is dead, and
Well, and
Wait,
Ismark
it's all
says,
here.
and he was with Irina and I when we were fending off the minions from within the house. So
Did he happen to go to a meal at the Blood of the Vine?
Well, I have eaten there many times, but
Well, I mean, after all, it affected my friend Julius here. I just thought maybe if we're looking for poison as a suspect, I mean, I didn't really taste much of the food. Their wine was fine.
Julius
I'm gonna-
stifles a belch.
Jezrek is helping to get the barricade put back on the front door.
Yeah, Ismark was
Yeah.
just about to suggest that, so he helps you too, especially since it's, your last sort of peek out the door is that the rain is picking up a little bit, and it's definitely starting to get dark now. And you hear a rumble of thunder in the distance. And so here's an important question. The barricades as they had them, they had done their best to not have any places where you can see out, to have it completely obstructed. Are you going to continue that, or are you going to try to have something that will allow you to see outside?
I say continue it. There are plenty of creatures that can affect your mind if just from a peek at the eyes. It'd be to our advantage to keep that sealed.
Is there a second floor to this building?
There is, but those windows are blocked.
They're
up,
boarded
too.
up as well.
If anything, maybe open a small way to see in the second floor or on the roof. Not the first floor, though.
It'd be
They
nice
can-
to have a lookout.
They can climb. Believe me, if they start attacking, we'll know.
Ismark says they have assaulted every possible entrance. We had to block up the chimney.
It sounds like you get some experience with these things, Jezrek. Care to share?
I've hunted the undead ever since, well, for a long time.
So what are we facing then? A bunch of rackety skeletons or something a little more frightening?
If it's a powerful vampire, there's any number of creatures that he could have at his disposal, all the way up to possibly even things that are immaterial. But
Ismark and says we've seen many different minions brought. We usually keep the barricades closed, as you mentioned. The Strahd has the ability to charm people with but a look. But we've had wolves that we hear moans of what must be the undead. Some strange hybrid, monstrous-looking wolves. I couldn't say how much, what else he may have or be able to bring to bear that he has not already.
I'm assuming you mean bring to bear as in bear around, not like Shadow over there.
What do you mean, like Shadow?
Not actually bringing bears.
Oh, not that I've seen. Well, I'm confused.
Don't mind him.
Shadow has a few tricks up her sleeve, and if you see a few things change, try not to be too afraid.
Okay.
I'll be here with you. And by the light of the thunder, we'll look over you.
So while you guys are kind of having this conversation, Shadow, you hear from outside the sound of... Oh, hang on, let me make sure. Let's see if I have some flavor text for this or not. Hold on one moment. Okay, you hear the sound of small wooden wheels rolling across damp cobbles from outside. It sounds like maybe just kind of coming down the street outside, and you hear an old woman's voice saying, "Dream pastries, dream pastries, ride out the night in pleasure. Dream pastries for sale."
Is it dark now?
Well, right now you have everything completely blocked.
Yeah.
But you suspect that it would be, given how close it was to dark.
Have I ever heard of dream pastries?
You didn't hear it. I did.
Oh.
Yeah, only Shadow kind of picked that out.
So my ears perk up, and I just kind of like listen for a bit, and then I look around. Is there often a peddler trying to sell things that make it easy to go through the night? You know, hallucinogens, something called dream pastries.
Ismark says, I mean, there's traveling, salespeople, but I don't know that I've heard of dream pastries specifically, but people would definitely be eager to find something to get through the night, even if it's an empty promise. Many people, especially given wine has been a little harder to come by of late.
Right,
I've no doubt people would be eager to buy anything that would promise to help them get through the night.
Yeah, that's my worry. This is somebody new. There's no, perhaps, what it sounds like, little old lady that sells things in this town often, using, say, a wooden cart?
I am not aware of a specific person, but it would not surprise me. I would certainly think that this time of night is dangerous, but it is also perhaps the time in which people would be most desperate to buy such a thing.
I smell a trap, gents. And lady. So I explained what I heard.
A dream pastry.
I don't trust that.
I don't trust anything.
It's a pastry. At
Uh-huh.
worst, an empty pastry. At best, it's got some medicinal properties we might be able to use. Maybe
No.
it can be cut
No,
up in small
that's
pieces and fed to calm the nerves.
No.
No, that is
I
not
don't have much
accurate.
appetite right now, so you can have the dream pastries.
At worst is not nothing. At worst is it's a lure to get us to open the doors.
At worst, it's a lure to get the townsfolk to open the doors so that we would go out and save them.
Or maybe someone's come up with something to fight the darkness. For just a minute or two, to give people peace.
Yeah, because not being aware throughout the night while you're being attacked is a wise idea.
Not being afraid and constantly twitching and turning at every creak of wood. That would be peace.
Or it could be eternal peace.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You make
You
one
know-
move toward the door, halfling, and you'll have to go past me.
I could probably go past you if I really needed to, but I don't really want to have to fight. Also, there's probably more than one door, and you can't stand by them all. But
Which is a good point.
all we know is somebody's offering something, and people are making up a whole lot of stories about what that something might be. We could put it in by taking a look.
Irina
We'll
is
investigate
kind of
in the
watching you guys
morning.
talk and is just saying, "This is our house. Strahd has many tricks. What are you even talking about? We're staying
We're-
in here. We're not opening the door."
Not everything is a trick. If it were, we wouldn't be here.
Not helping.
She looks kind of frustrated, like, "Damn, I wish you didn't have kind of a point there."
I know you're afraid, and I know there's strange mysteries all about. But you can't just turn your back on a mystery and then say it's solved.
We'll investigate in the morning.
Well, so are you? Do you have any of you like maybe listening at one of the barricaded windows to try to hear more, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and listen.
Okay. So as you're listening, you hear the wagon getting closer, and then the creak of the wheels stops near enough that you suspect it might be just right across the street, like at the house across the street.
The
And-
Whoops house?
That's where it sounds like it is, and you hear a knocking, and the voice is saying, "Dream pastries, I know you want them. Open up." And then you hear a pause that might be people speaking quietly, but you can't really hear. She says, "Oh no, you have to pay. No more freebies. You know what I want."
I'm continuing to listen because I really want to know what she wants. Because it sounds like not just gold.
And you actually start hearing the sound of a young child start saying, "Mom, no! What do you? No, stop! I don't want to go with her. I don't want to go with her."
She's taking children.
What do you mean she's taking children?
That's the payment for the dream pastries. She's taking a child from across the street.
Oh, well, let's just all turn our back and not pay attention to it then.
That's
I'm ripping down the barricade to go out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
I'm going to move through them because I'm a halfling.
Go halfling.
So you, as you kind of pull down the barricade, Irina looks frustrated but doesn't say anything. Ismark staying with her, but they kind of stay back away from the door, and while they watch you, because they're not trying to stop you, but they're a little more cautious. But as you open the door and look across the street, what you do see is this old woman with her wagon. Let me give you. There's a handout.
You, Dennis.
Well, hold on. Let me give you the.
Wait. So while we're opening the door, I just kind of like side eye Irina and I just say, "It's a child. We can't ignore that."
She says. She kind of shrugs. Says, I'm not stopping you.
I'm just trying to make you feel better.
So I just showed you, shared another handout. This old woman. You see her standing at the front door across the street, and she's got this 7-year-old kid by the scruff of his shirt, and his parents are standing in the doorway, looking sad, tears, but they're holding pies and not interfering as this woman is grabbing him and preparing to stuff him into a sack.
They sold their kid for dessert.
For drugs.
That's a
For
good
drugs.
pastry.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye out. Keep an eye out more in generally. Why? Because I trust Julius to confront the situation directly. So I'm keeping an eye out to see if there's anybody watching her or guarding her.
Okay. Make a perception check. Or do you want to do that too, Honor?
Yes, and I also, I'd also like to send Anubis across the street to kind of grab her arm or grab the sack to keep her from being able to put the child in there.
Okay.
Because he can move a lot faster than we can.
Okay. So in that sense, so while you don't see anything, Jasrik, you're kind of looking around, and the streets seem empty. Otherwise, but at the same time, it's starting to kind of rain, it's raining a little bit. It's dark. There's not a lot to see, but you don't see anything other than this woman across the street in her wagon. But so Anubis darts out from among you and races across and then grabs the bottom of this sack that she's trying to put the kid in and starts pulling on it, growling. And the old woman says, foul beast, be gone with you. What are you doing? And she's kind of struggling with it.
The barking at the moment is really helpful.
So Shadow, you got a really good perception score. You still also don't see anything else at the moment. However, you see that in the sky that the storm is definitely moving in. It's probably going to be raining a lot harder shortly, and it's very foggy.
Unhand that child now.
The woman kind of looks up from Anubis and looks over at all of you, kind of standing, I'm sure, in a very sort of intimidating group pose. And she just looks up at you and kind of smiles and says, of course. I don't want any trouble. And she lets the kid go, and he sort of darts away from her, but he kind of looks warily at his own parents, who just look scared, and then he runs to you guys.
Now, madam, I've made a pretty good pastry in my day. Never been worth the life or service of a child, though. I think your prices are a little inflated.
Well, I charge 1 gold piece per pastry. Can't be blamed for when people have no gold and wish to pay in other means.
1 gold per pastry is still a bit high, though.
They are very good pastries.
You could always just not sell them the pastry if they don't have the gold.
Ah, what kind of a businesswoman would that make me to refuse payment from those offering?
You accept payment of a child. What kind of a businesswoman does it make you to begin with?
Well, look. Clearly you're upset. I do my best business with repeat customers, so how about this? You may all have a dream pastry on the house. The boy's parents too, and he can go where he wishes. I don't want any trouble.
Can I use insight to see if she's lying, see what she's trying to do?
Yeah, okay, go ahead and make an insight check. Oh, well, so she is absolutely not lying in the sense that she doesn't want trouble, but she also suspects that she doesn't need to get the kid right now. I mean, where's he going to go? She'll just come back for him later when you guys aren't around.
Right. What about the other things that she said, that she's just simply selling pastries?
She is selling pastries.
What's... I should have asked her what was in the pastries first. Dang it.
Yeah.
What are in those pastries?
Oh, they're meat pies.
What kind of meat?
Oh, I use only the best ingredients.
Yes, tell me, what
Right.
are those ingredients?
Yeah.
Ah, what kind of businesswoman would I be if I shared my recipe?
One that continues to sell. You don't need to share the recipe. But, just got to make sure that there's no genetically modified, I don't know.
No MSG.
I think that's ghastly modified in this.
I think that it's very obvious everybody's upset. Let's not be upset. Let's just go in peace. Would you like a pastry?
Oh, I'll take a pastry, all right.
Don't eat it.
No, thank you.
She pulls this sort of like rain-slicked tarp that's covering her wagon, protecting from the rain, and holds out a small crusted pie with about the size of your hand, and offers it. On the house. If you enjoy it, be sure to come back for more.
I crack it in two and take a look inside.
Can Anubis sniff the pastry?
It looks like a meat pie. That's it. That's what's in there is meat and gravy, and it's got sort of a flaky, bready crust to it. It's a little bit soggy. Are you offering it to Anubis?
Well, I'm asking Hunter if Anubis can tell if there's something wrong.
Honor.
What did I say?
Hunter. You said Hunter.
That's strange. Okay, yes, I meant Honor. Thank you, Honor.
Should I have Anubis pull an insight check?
On who? On the
On the pastry.
That would be a perception check of some kind.
Yeah,
Is the pastry
perception
lying
would
to
be so insight is only for people.
Okay, so perception.
Sure. All right, I need to move this window so I can see what the rolls are when they come up.
12.
Okay, yeah. He sniffs it and then kind of licks his chops, like looks up at you, like, can I eat it?
No, you can't.
He kind of sits down and hunches a little bit.
How well made is it?
It looks like it's been toted around on a cart, but at the same time, as far as you can tell, it looks like it would be pretty good. It's cold.
Well, I'll wrap it up in my napkin, put it away for now. I've had a good meal of a little berry after all.
All right. And so she says, "There we are, transaction complete, so I'll just be on my way." And
We'll
she
investigate
starts
this
to
further
close up
later.
her wagon and just decides
Don't
to
be
start
taking
rolling her-
any children tonight. We'll be checking up on you.
Will
And,
you?
Yes.
Well,
all right.
if you like, I'll be on my way. And she starts rolling her wagon back up the street.
I want to go over to those parents.
And yeah, so now that they see her leaving, they do call out and they just say, Lucien, Lucien, come back. But Lucien is, he looks like he's about 7. He's kind of hiding behind your leg, Julius, and he's just saying, they were going to sell me. Yeah, they tried to sell me.
I confront the parents. What could you have been thinking, trying to sell your child for a meal?
They look like very upset, like they're crying, but they're kind of hollow cheeked and sort of like she said that he would be very well taken care of, and we just we didn't want to. We need the pastries. I mean, she said she wouldn't hurt him. She said she wouldn't hurt him.
Where do you think she gets the meat?
No. That's impossible. No. That's impossible.
Just think about it.
That's a bit of an assumption. They might be working in a mill.
And it's like, yeah, like which mill that's working around here? Come on. And I'm going back into the house.
Okay. They call out again. Lucien, come home. We love you, darling. Please.
I turn to Lucien. Lucien, you're welcome to stay with us tonight.
He kind of says, and he looks back at his parents and says, "Yeah, maybe for tonight." And he's kind of watching his parents warily. I think my parents are sick.
I think so too.
Shadow.
Don't worry. We won't hurt him. See, that's all you need to hear. Now you don't have to worry. Your guilt is assuaded just by hearing somebody say that they won't hurt him.
He'll be very well taken care of.
Do you have any more of those berries, Shadow?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I divvy out, let's see, I had 6 left. How many? There's 2 parents?
Yep.
Yeah.
I hand Perry 2 to give to the parents, and I give 1 to Lucien.
The parents kind of accept them, just sort of like, you're handing me something, okay?
I'd eat that over the meat pie. It'll fill your belly for a day, and it'll make you feel better if there's anything wrong with you.
Oh, and I'm taking the meat pies, too.
Yeah.
At this, all of a sudden they're saying, no, these are ours. These are ours. You can't have them.
Actually, they're mine. Because she negotiated with me.
They
And I get to
try to
distribute
slam
them.
the door in your face.
I put my foot in the door.
They're pushing to try to keep it closed. Are you going to try to push it back open?
Very unsuccessfully, most likely.
I'll go help him.
All right.
I'll go help him hold the door open.
I'm a little worried that we're getting distracted and it's getting dark, so I'm going to try to get anybody else. I'm going to get Lucien and Julius back in the house.
So make a strength check to try to force the door back open.
Excuse me 1 second.
You're easily able to push the door back open. They're not very strong, and they look like they're kind of out of it. Are you just grabbing the pies away from them? They
That's
each
my
have
intent.
one.
That's my intent.
Okay. Yeah. I would say that they're struggling to prevent you from doing that, and the pies kind of start to fall apart as you're grabbing them away.
That works.
Eventually, they kind of just break down, and they're both sort of just sobbing messes on the floor.
Now, it's for your own good. I hate to say it. And I'll give them a few minutes of talking to.
Okay. They don't look like they're even really hearing you at this point. They're
Come on, let's go.
Just take the berries. Sleep well tonight.
The mother just says, "You don't know what you're talking about."
I will tomorrow.
All right, so if you leave them behind, then you have, I would say, if you're trying to save it, you have sort of a double handful of what would probably be total one full dream pastry, but it's kind of all just wrecked up and broken.
I would scuff the remains of the ones that they had done out the door as well.
Okay.
And then push them into the ground.
All right. Are you hanging on to the bit that you have?
Yes.
Okay. All right. As you make your way back to the house, you see that they are trying. They do take for a moment to try to get what they can out of the dirt, and then they go back into their house and close the door.
Poor souls.
Dream pastries. Not even once.
All right, so you can see that this storm is definitely starting to blow in at this point. In fact, let me go ahead and switch our. Yeah, so it's definitely very dark now, and sort of a mist is blowing in. The rain has started to pick up, and you're bringing Lucien back into
He
the
should
house?
already be inside.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So you're
Yeah,
all
that's
you're all
right.
inside then,
Yep.
with him.
He ate the good berry?
Yeah. And
Okay.
and he said, "Oh, that was good. It was sweet. Thank you."
You're welcome. They're my favorite treat.
Wow. I don't. Thank you for letting me stay here. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow, but
We'll figure that out.
yeah, my parents, they get it. They have those pastries. It just makes them they're like in a daze for hours.
How long have they been eating these pastries?
I don't know. They were hiding it from me for a while, I think. The first time I saw them do it was about a week ago. A few days.
You haven't
But I
eaten
think
them
they were
yourself.
doing it before. No, they never let me have one. Too expensive for me, they said.
Small blessings.
You're better off.
All right.
Can I want to look the kid over or actually, Perry, can you check Lucien out? Give him kind of like a physical. Make sure there's nothing else wrong with him.
All right. Do you have any pains or aches, boy?
No, I think I'm okay. You look him over. He looks like he's probably getting about 80% of what would be ideal to eat. But doesn't look overtly unhealthy. He's kind of pale-skinned and, dressed in the same sort of gloomy fashion that most of the people around here have. But he looks uninjured and not sort of actively suffering from anything.
I'm sure we can find you a bed to sleep in the rest for the evening.
Irina kind of nods and says, "Here, come with me. Do you want to sleep now?" And he kind of goes, Yeah, I think so. And she kind of guides him off to guest bedroom. And she's actually hesitates, though, taking him out there, and then just kind of turns back. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it would be better if we all stayed together. What is your plan for tonight?
Well, watchful waiting.
I think
The barricades should be stout enough that we can get some sleep before, and if we keep watch, we won't be surprised. That's the real value of the barricades.
So we probably want to set up some kind of watch schedule so that
Yeah.
not all of us are.
And two of us awake at a time.
Take a closer look at the barricades. Are they broken or stout, or are they cracked?
So you see lots of places where they've been repaired. Like it looks like something was broken and it's got like a new piece of wood sort of nailed back over it. So there's several places where it looks like they've been broken in the past or been damaged. Most of them have been repaired in a pretty sturdy way, though. You can make an investigation check if you want to try to be extra thorough. Yeah, you do find that there's one of the upper level windows. The frame of the window had splintered a little bit, meaning that you could push the barricade away a little bit, and it was probably not as strong as it could be. But
I'll use mending to fix it up.
easily repaired. Nice and sturdy again now.
Yeah. Little symbol of the thunder scratched into the wood.
So the Irina and Ismark definitely volunteer to be part of the watch schedule, but you also notice that they look exhausted.
I think you two need sleep.
And
Right. I volunteer for first watch.
okay, they kind of look at it. Irina, sorry, go ahead.
From a metagaming point of view, we should take 3 watches, and someone on each watch should have a good perception score.
Yeah.
So, mine's 15. I'm pretty sure Honor also has a good perception score.
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. Shadow?
Anubis does.
Okay, that's good.
Perception score as well.
Okay,
I'm
so
going to sleep. I'm going to sleep well.
I'll take the first watch, and Julius, why don't you stay up with me,
Okay.
and then Honor and Shadow can take the second, and then Perry and the residents can take the third after they've all had a good night's sleep. Hopefully.
Sounds like the weather's taking a turn for the worse.
That's only rain, thunder, lightning, hail, rocks falling from the sky, you know.
Did you say there was a tornado?
Not yet.
Christiana, can you lower the the volume just a little?
Yes, I was actually thinking to myself.
Smog!
Let's see, where is it? There we go.
Now, before I take a little rest, is anyone in need of anything? A kind word or a little a bruising taken care of? Julius, did you scratch yourself in the woods?
No, Mark, remember
Not
on
only
a full
place
rest,
in
everybody goes to full health on a full rest.
Some of us might not get a full rest.
Yeah.
True.
I'm just thinking. Do you have any buffs or anything?
I will in the morning.
Oh, okay then.
All right.
Short term if you want to do something special.
Oh, make sure you prepare that spell that we talked about last time, where you want to make sure that nothing can rise from this body.
I'll have a prayer for the thunder in the morning ready.
Yeah.
Just the right one. I know the sermon.
Yeah. So those of you, I think Druid, Cleric, and Paladin all have the same thing, which they prepare anything from their class list.
Yeah.
After a long rest, so if you want to switch out what you've got, just have that in mind. But so you set out the watch, and several hours go by with no apparent incident. It's definitely raining. It's pretty much going all night, it seems like. So the first watch kind of comes and goes, and what was the second watch?
I was on the second watch.
And I was too.
All right.
Oh, thanks. I get to pet Anubis while I'm on watch. This is awesome.
Yes. He loves it. He loves it. He's putty.
Well, I know just where to scratch because I've been a wolf.
Anubis is appreciative. Yeah. So just kind of riding out the storm, and then bam, bam, bam! One of the windows, something just pounds against it.
Okay. So I run to the window and I try to see what I see. Do I see anything?
You guys specifically said that you left the barricades with no way to see outside.
That's
Right.
right.
But I mean, like, has it been disturbed or?
No, someone banged on it, but it's still intact.
All right.
Can you hear anything?
Yeah. Can I hear anything?
Make a perception check.
That's Anubis.
Yeah, Shadow, you hear nothing. Anubis, kind of his hackles go up a little bit, and he's kind of growling towards the window.
Yeah. Okay.
Bam, bam, bam! It's a different window this time.
Honor, why don't you wake up our fellows?
Absolutely.
Okay. They're definitely trying to get our attention, testing each of these barricades.
Okay.
Does Anubis smell anything at the other window?
It would
Another
probably be hard to smell things through the window, but yeah.
Sense, whatever. Perceive.
Yeah. You can make another perception check. Yeah. This time he doesn't necessarily. He kind of looks at you, not sure. I mean, he's definitely agitated.
Yeah, I can't tell anything either.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and wake up Jazric, and then Julius and Perry.
All right. I ready my spear, and I want to have a torch in my offhand.
Is it morning yet?
You've
No.
lit the torch inside?
Yeah, yeah. The book doesn't explicitly say what a torch does in combat, but the kind of 5e consensus is it's a D4 plus 1 fire damage.
That sounds plausible. I buy
Okay.
that.
Is it morning yet? Have I had a good night's sleep?
Do you feel like you've had a good night's sleep? Probably not.
No. I'm sure there might be coffee too. Sure.
The important thing is, has he had a long rest?
Do I
No,
reset
not
my
yet.
spell?
You guys are halfway through the second watch.
Okay.
Is there any threat?
There's something banging on each of the barricades.
Okay, wake me when it's more. And I turn over, go back to sleep.
You hear like a thump from the roof. Thump,
That
thump,
sounded like
thump,
more.
thump, 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 and like something running across the roof.
Okay.
Can I identify if it sounds like any animal I would know?
I mean, I'll let you make a survival check, but I'll warn you, it's going to be hard. You're hearing just thumping on the roof.
Yeah.
No, you can't tell.
Okay.
Okay. Should I go ahead and wake Irena and what's his name? Let them sleep. All right.
Yeah. They just get in the way at this point.
Okay.
Very keen and very aware. I just haven't gotten in yet.
Here's a good opportunity, actually, to just to answer the question. Have you kind of retreated to separate rooms? I mean, it's a mansion.
No.
It's big enough.
No,
but...
we said we were all going to stay relatively together.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys are probably all in the same room. Then you're trying to be quiet, though. But
Yes.
as you kind of mentioned, Ismark and Irena kind of opens one eye and says, "I did hear the thumping. Let me know if She kind of drifts back off.
If they actually start trying to break through, wake us up. Otherwise, I'm going back to sleep too.
Okay.
More important to be rested than alert to every thump.
I agree. I'm gonna crash as well.
All right.
You hear more scuttling across the roof. And then nothing.
Okay.
It's
All
just
right.
squirrels. Really big squirrels, but just squirrels.
So about an hour goes by, and at the door, it's just a simple knock. Knock, knock, knock on the front door.
So I'm close to the door, and I say, who is it? Who's there? I'm going to roll perception, see if I can figure anything out. I rolled really well this time.
Um,
Probably because I'm angry.
I mean, I'm just trying to think what you would be able to perceive from inside this barricaded door.
Well, using my keen senses, can I hear anything more than just the knocking? Can I hear anything about the person?
You hear some distant moaning, but it's not right by the door.
Okay.
It's just,
Well, that's good.
but that's kind of distant. And then you hear a wolf howl too, but also distant.
Is it a dire wolf?
I mean, a wolf, dire wolf and a wolf. You
I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
no.
Okay.
Does that wolf howl spark anything in Anubis?
Well, it's very distant. You literally rolled a critical success on your perception roll. That's the
That's
only reason
true.
you heard anything.
Oh, okay, that's true. Just wondering
Okay,
if, like,
that's
I
all
need
right.
to, like.
Yeah, so we're talking about what you would have heard through this heavy barricaded wooden door while it's
Okay.
raining outside.
I won't be answering anything. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Should I use my primeval awareness to see if I can sense any kind of beasts within the nearest 5 miles?
Up to you.
No, I'm asking Shadow.
I would.
Speaking as a player, I wouldn't use the spell slot at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, it. I would assume that they're all around us.
Okay. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Because 5 miles in this town, a town of vampires, it's going to set something off.
So, the knock does not return,
Hmm.
and more time passes. It's now close to the end of the second watch. The brief interruption where everyone was awoken was not enough to interrupt the time for the long rest.
Right.
It was brief enough. So these are 4-hour watches, is the
Yep.
idea?
Yep.
So basically, the people who have not had a watch yet now have their long rest complete.
That's better.
So that's Ismark and Irina included, and Perry.
And Perry.
Who was on the first watch? Remind me. Was that Jastrick and Julius?
Julius. Yep.
Okay. So right now, you know that it is. Let's see. First of all, let me switch the ambiance because the rainstorm has kind of faded. It has passed overhead and ended now. You know that there's only a few hours left, probably before dawn this time of year. So it's possible that if you do want to try to have this funeral right at dawn, that not everybody will have gotten a full long rest.
More important to get the full rest.
Yeah.
So I was sleeping during my first rest, and I'm going to pray during my second.
Okay.
Well, hold on. What time of year is it?
I think I had said before that it was getting towards fall.
Okay. So the nights are short, so 12 hours is not there's not quite 12 hours between dusk and dawn.
Right.
Ismark and Irina, who are awake now, kind of have mentioned this to Perry, just saying, is it still the plan to have the funeral at dawn? And Ismark in particular says, it is it's a full day of travel to Vallaki, so I don't think we have much time to spare if we're not ready to leave at first light.
I just for out of character stuff. I mean, I didn't really spend much of anything. I mean, I did a
Yeah.
good berry spell, but that's it. So I mean, if I don't know how much other people
Yeah.
need to
I used 2 of my 3 spell slots, so I'm a little more interested in a long rest, but
I needed it.
yeah, you for the
Yeah.
I
can
I
move.
mean, yeah, and I could too. I mean, I'm just not as happy with it.
Well, and you know, it's up to you guys if you want to have some people go to do the funeral and some people finish their long rest. You could
that could work.
You could do that.
I'm ready to go do the funeral. I was gonna go anyway, so.
Yeah, well, and you want to do the thing on the body, right?
Yes, well, that and I like to bless the Don Father with the Don and the Dog Father too.
So bear in mind that what part of what you'll need is enough people to carry the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it
Okay.
sounds like if we're going, then we're going. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'm still not convinced we're traveling to Wallachia today. They didn't seem to try that hard to get in last night.
Did
So no, they didn't.
It felt like a fact-finding mission to me.
Yeah, testing the defenses.
I wonder what facts they found.
Figuring out how many people are here.
Is it Best Buy? And I just, for shits and gigs,
Can we
this
mute
woman
you,
had,
Tim, for a
look up how
moment?
much.
Thanks. There we go. Okay, so it's all of this is up to you, but I would say you guys would guess that it's probably gonna start getting light very soon, like in a few minutes. But you
So let's
still have
go,
all
I
the
think.
barricades out, so you know.
Let's go. We promised a funeral at dawn, so let's do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Get the body moving. We'll get going.
All right. Are you creating like a gap in one of the barricades to try to look out to see if it's starting to get light, or what's the plan? You believe, based on just kind of dead reckoning, that it's almost dawn.
Do I know when dawn happens?
I mean, I would say you guys are, you know that this time of year, and I'll say that your best guess is that it's probably almost done, and you're pretty confident. But because you have made the barricades such, you have not seen light starting to peek through anywhere in the tiny cracks yet. But this, like I said, it's almost done.
Yeah. So let's just go, rather than peeking. Let's just go.
Okay.
Are we all going, or are people staying behind? To
Best to all go.
We're all
Best to
go.
all go,
right.
including Lucius.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Let's not forget about Lucius.
All right. Yeah, he slept longer. You know, he slept through the first 2 watches and into the third, so he's wide awake at this point, interested in what's going to happen.
Well, at dawn, then I'll do my little ritual over the body.
Okay. Okay, so you got you cast Gentle Repose.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right.
I do it as a ritual to take 10 minutes to do it, but it'll save me some power for later.
Right, and includes taking 2 copper pieces and placing them over the eyes of the dead burgomaster.
Yes.
And so basically, you know that this spell will prevent the body from decaying any further than it has already.
And we'll wrap the body up in a sheet, stick him on a stretcher of some kind.
Well, it's already in a rough wooden coffin that's sturdy
okay.
enough that you can use to carry him.
Then we'll just carry that.
Okay. So as you go to open the front door, you see, as you just open it a crack, that sure enough, you're starting to see just a little hint of light in the sky. And you also see that affixed to the door knocker is a dead rose.
Do we
let's
have an
not spend.
admirer?
let's not spend a lot of time pondering this. Let's get moving.
All right, so you guys all make your way north to the church graveyard. I'm trying to see
You pull the map back up.
if I can select all of you together. Yeah. All right. So,
Oh, we move fast.
making your way through. The streets are pretty deserted at dawn. You gather that probably most people don't go out at night and try to they're giving themselves a little bit more of a buffer. They don't try to be somewhere at dawn usually. But it is just at about dawn as you're making your way to the church. Are you going into the church, or are you walking around the outside to? I just realized I left Anubis up at the church all night.
I did not see an easy access from the church itself to the graveyard, so we're going to go around.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look inside, though, to see the locals' handiwork.
Yeah.
Is it Jirthal Lathander, is it not?
Yes, the Morning Lord.
All right.
So you're going in?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, so I'm going to switch to
Sorry.
to that map. That's all right. Just
It's a professional hazard, I'm afraid.
yeah. Okay. We have leftover Jazric on this map and Honor. Is everyone going inside or no?
I'm gonna stay outside. With,
Yeah, I'm staying with the coffin.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
I'll
say.
stay outside with them. I don't want to split up the party too much.
All right. Well.
I'm not keen going into a Church of Lathander.
This is me going home.
All right. So let me just try to put everybody
Tells me you wouldn't like my
on this map for now. And Perry's going to be in the front of the church. Oops. So, okay, because we had a little trouble with this the last time, can you guys clarify me? What can each of you see right now?
I see the back of the church with cool rays showing what I can see of the inside.
Okay.
I see nothing.
Nothing.
Black
Right.
square.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can see a little bit into the church from where I'm standing by the window.
If the timing's convenient, and since I'm inside anyway, I'm going to go run off to the little Thander's room.
Okay.
Right back.
All right. So I'm trying to remember how I got it to work last time, which is apparently still working for, So, do you also see the back of the church, Lee, or for Honor? Honor? Hey, Lee?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still see the back of the church?
Yes.
Okay. So, but Julius and Shadow don't see anything? Black screen?
That's right.
Why? Interesting.
Okay. I'm going to take a real quick break. I'll be right back.
Okay. That's interesting. Why wouldn't it be the same for everybody? Oh, okay. Hang on. There we go. Tim, do you see anything now? Still no.
I see a partial map. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's what it was that I needed to do.
Hey, just as long as we're on a little break here, when I'm looking at the map, I've got everybody's pictures laid over it. Is there a way I can hide those pictures?
Oh, the little icons in the bottom. Yeah, if you go to the settings, you can set player video / avatar size to names only.
Okay, let's see here.
Okay. Hopefully.
Oh yes, I see. Regular names only. Perfect. Bingo. Now I can see the map. All right.
All right. So I think. Okay. So Shadow, can you see the back of the church now? Oh,
I don't think she's back yet.
okay.
There she is.
No, I'm here. I was.
Do you see the partial map, the back of the church now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I remembered that what it is that I have to tell it that you guys, as players, have control of those tokens. Mark, you're muted, but do you see the inside of this church now?
I see me, and that is absolutely the only thing I see.
Okay, interesting. Why did that not?
Because he's inside the church.
I
And he
know
shouldn't be able to see us, right?
he shouldn't. He can't see the church, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I moved.
Yeah, I know. I did that. Why? This is so frustrating that it doesn't. You still don't see any.
All I see is myself. My beautiful, beautiful self.
What about now?
You just moved.
I know, but what
That's all I
else
saw.
do you see? You only see. See, that doesn't make any sense though. Like.
Maybe I shouldn't go inside. Oh, I moved again.
Yes, I know you moved, but hang on. Why? Okay, I've got you moved to the outside now, so like it should.
Nope.
I know. Please, I'm sorry. I don't mean to snap at you just for answering my questions, but I'm just frustrated because it seems like I fixed it for everybody else, and for some reason, it's still not working for you in a way that's like doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I'm playing with settings now, so please everybody forgive me, and anyone watching this get to learn the joys of fiddling with technical things in.
Is there anything I can do, like reload or something?
Well, I mean, I suppose you could try it. You know, I don't know what else what else to try.
Try reloading it.
Because like you're in the same area as everybody else.
Well, now I'm not able
Your
to see
little
myself.
icon settings are. Well, I think it's waiting for you to. That's weird.
Oh, it just jumped. Maybe it's slowly loading here.
Okay.
Okay, again I see myself, and that's it.
See that it makes no sense to me because you are set up the same way that everybody else is. You see, like this is what makes this maddening because why these settings are so cool when they work and then they just inexplicably don't work for unknown reasons. Because you guys need to be able to see into the maps, otherwise, like, what are we even doing here?
Right.
Okay, I'm briefly going to move the player view away from a different map and then back onto this one. So you guys probably see the village map again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I'm seeing nothing.
You were still seeing nothing?
Just a black square.
I wonder if Mark should log out and then log back in.
Okay, yeah, see, okay. You guys are back on the village map, and Mark, if you still see nothing, then something has got to be wrong on your end.
Just a black square. Okay.
Okay.
I will try not using Chrome. See if that works.
Yeah, because right now, like where you guys are set on the village map shouldn't be any different than what you were doing before I moved you to the church map.
Yeah. Something stopped updating on your side.
It could be the browser,
Yeah. So hopefully we can get that working because yeah. Okay, so what we'll say, let's cover for a moment that you guys have carried the. So the rest of you see the. Well, here, let's see. I can try this too. Yeah. See, even when I pull up on my map, I can do a little view that seems to suggest this is what he can see. But yeah. So in any case, you guys are at the graveyard. You've brought the coffin. It is just starting to be dawn, and you're here. You don't see Father Donovich outside, but you hear some activity from within the chapel through the windows. And so, are you? You know where you pointed the grave, or where you dug the grave, Honor and Jastrick. So, if you guys, are you going to go and just go ahead and lay the coffin in it, or?
I don't know how the ceremony is going to run, so I think we'll set the coffin to the side of the to the grave we dug.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mark, are you back? Any luck? You're muted again.
How deep is the grave? Do we need ropes or something to lower it?
I see the outside world.
Okay, so you see like the back of this church again.
Yep.
Then okay.
Yep.
So
Excellent.
let me move you, and hopefully now you see the inside of the church.
And yes, I do.
Okay, good. All right, so
Wait, Christiana, I don't want to drive you absolutely insane.
yes.
But, I don't see myself. I don't know if you turned me on or not.
Okay, I did. So wait. Okay, hang on. What did we have you called? Oh, I see. Sorry. No, I know what I did wrong there. It's
Okay.
because
So-
you made your name Nutty Shadow, and there's a different thing called Shadow, so that's what I had set it to. Okay, so let's deal with Perry having entered now the.
Let there be light.
See, you've got the new picture there. I'll update your token at the next time we're off, rather than trying to do it right now. But so as you enter the front of the church, because you hadn't been here, those of you who hadn't been at the church, I guess you probably heard the description really from before. But so it's atop a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone that supports Castle Ravenloft. Because now that it's starting to be light, you definitely see that there's just this looming cliff-like mountain above the town with a castle draped in mists atop it. And so you see this sagging gray edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end and has worn and weary. A bell tower rises toward the back, and flickering light shines through holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load. And as you enter these heavy wooden doors, which are covered with claw marks and scarred by fire, you enter, and everything's a little bit damp because the roof's not great, but you move through this hallway, and you can move your token now if you want to move further up into the chapel. So you kind of start in the hall here. It's a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew, but 4 doors on each side of the hall lead to adjacent chambers. The chapel is strewn with debris, and you hear a soft voice from within reciting a prayer. You see that Father Donovich, who did I give you guys the handout for Father Donovich? Probably
I don't remember that one.
I
No.
don't think I did, so let me do that now. Okay, you guys have Father Donovich's. So he looks up at you, and he looks exhausted but collected, Perry. And he looks up at you and says, "Ah, are you with the others here for Kolyan's funeral?"
He's probably looking down, but I'm used to that.
Yeah, he's kneeling at the altar. So when he kind of looks over his shoulder, he's probably right more or less on the level with you.
Yes, I am. You must be the local brother here. My name is Perry, but you can call me Perry.
He has kind of almost an exhausted laugh, like, yes. Are they here? Have they brought the body? And he starts kind of. You see, he's leaning heavily on the altar as he moves to stand.
Yes, they've assembled outside. I said the prayer of Lathander this morning, so his body's going to be untouched for a while. Tell me, friend, your place doesn't look all the best. You need to fix up some of these benches if you want people to sit on them.
Yes, well, you're not wrong. There's just been... You lose some momentum when every time you fix something, it's just destroyed again. It's difficult to keep anything maintained, and I've had other business, and as if summoned, you hear a voice, an unearthly scream from under the floor, saying, "Father, what are you doing? I'm starving."
I don't mean to be a pain, but did you hear that?
Is the game still on?
He says, "Yes, that's my son. He's not well. We're losing the dawn. Let's go and take care of this sad business."
Are you feeling all right? You look a little worn.
And he's moving to go to the hall. Is like, I will carry on as I always have. There's the Morning Lord's work to be done.
Absolutely. I'll pat him on the shoulder, or actually probably on the hip, I suppose, of my head. I'll be there to assist you. Don't worry.
All right. So he leads you back outside and around towards the back. And let's see. So he directs you to go ahead and lay the coffin into the grave. He takes a moment to say kind of a brief prayer under his breath to the body itself before you lower it down. But then when he begins to perform this ceremony, he has everyone kind of stand around. Hey, Nobilis, I think we're hearing some background noise maybe from you. No? I'm hearing it from someone. Still? No? Hello? Okay. I don't know. I was hearing it before. I don't know where it was coming from. Tim's thing says it's muted right now. So.
Well, I just muted mine because my dog started barking again. We're having people doing work on the house, and it's driving him crazy.
Okay. So in any case, let's. Okay. So we have everybody gathered around. I'm hearing a lot of like rustling and rumbling sound right now. Okay. All right. So I think it was Nobilis's, but that's okay. Okay. So let's keep going. So he offers prayers to the Morning Lord, basically asking that the Morning Lord allow Kolyan Indirovich's soul to be delivered from this cursed place and to find peace with the Morning Lord.
I echo and follow along the procedure.
Okay, yeah, and he appreciates it, and he gives Irina and Ismark the opportunity to say something, and they're both looking very sad, and Irina's crying a little bit, but they kind of just say, we've already said our private goodbyes. We just want to ensure that he will rest easy.
That he will.
So he goes ahead and he finishes the ceremony and directs that he has Irina and Ismark both put the first kind of handful of soil down over the grave and indicates it's time to go ahead and cover over the body.
I solemnly supervise.
All right. So as the grave is being refilled, Father Donovich goes over and he kind of pulls Ismark and Irina off to the side a little bit for a private conversation. Are any of you going to try to eavesdrop or?
Yeah, I will.
All right. So make a stealth check if you want to try to be unobserved that you're eavesdropping.
Is there any shadows or trees or anything in this cemetery?
Yeah, there's some trees and some shrubs and stuff like that.
All right, so I'm going to listen in and just kind of hide because I'm whenever I'm lightly obscured, my stealth is pretty good.
Okay.
So-
So you're finding a place where you can kind of hide and try to listen in.
Yeah, so like
Okay.
I'm gonna sit like behind a shrub or whatever.
Julius attempts to be all stealthy and over here, and he
Yep.
basically
I'm
brushes
gonna-
against
Okay.
a tombstone, which
I'll
actually
text you or
tips
something.
over.
We're gonna be getting dinner around like 4:30 to 6-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're getting.
But any other side
So
of the
totally not
Okay.
stealth
Yeah.
now.
What are your plans tonight?
Nothing really.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna try to
Okay.
Okay.
It's
All right. See you later.
Yep, see you.
Julius,
Sorry
maybe
about
if
that.
you didn't have conversations
Yeah.
with other people, your
Yeah.
stealth would work better.
yeah. Yeah. You find
My car is
yourself.
being borrowed.
You thought you were being all stealthy, and somehow you were actually talking to yourself. And so the Father Donovich and Irina and Ismark just kind of all look right at you, like, "Are you trying to creep up on us?" They don't say that, but they kind of give you that look. And Father Donovich says, "Please, if I might have a word with Irina and Ismark alone, please don't take offense, but you are strangers to this place."
They just saw Julius, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not with him.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I take the hint and
Okay.
move away.
All right. So what you hear? Well, did you make a stealth check, Shadow? Go ahead and do that.
Yeah, but I just know, like, I don't know how this works, because I have Mask of the Wild.
Yeah, I know. What
yeah.
I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I'll let you make it with advantage. How about that?
Okay. Well, then we're good.
Yeah. So yeah, you are able to sort of blend into the shadows of the the early morning dawn, and you hear that he's basically just having a very intense conversation with them about what they're planning to do now. Now that their father is dead. And Ismark talks about, I think we should. I just realized I didn't put Ismark and Arena on the map, but I'll do that in a minute, if necessary. So Ismark mentions his plan about going to Valaki, and Father Donovich has some reservations, and then Ismark says, "Well, we've hoped that this group will help us escort somewhere safe, so perhaps let's involve them in this." And so they gather all of you around now, and
Okay, while they were having that conversation,
all right.
I'm going to get with everybody who is not eavesdropping,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to say that I don't think we should move Arena today. I want to learn more about Wallachia first, and whether there's actually any safety to be found there. And besides that, there's other things that need looking into here. There's this old woman that was selling the dream pies. We need to investigate that. We need to investigate this voice underneath this church. We need to investigate the winery. We need to investigate the those are the things we need to look into. And I don't think we should leave for Wallachia yet. Whoever it was that was trying to break in last night decided not to go because we were here. And I think that we can, the need to move is not urgent.
I'm pretty sure Perry would want to investigate the winery.
Oh, well, the winery's on the top of my list, sure. It's a long list. The voice of the child beneath the church stresses me a bit, too. And the poor father's stressed beyond belief, so... but I do worry about the safety of staying another night. We did have a quiet night last night, but knowing that there's more here and the defenses have been placed even more strongly might bring even more attention and attack. We've got 1,000 things to do and only 1,001 days to do them.
What, you don't think that the old lady is an urgent enough issue to investigate today instead of this one person?
Well, so here's while this is about the time that Father Donovich kind of says, all of you, please. I think we are all discussing what comes next. Perhaps let's do this together.
All right. Out in the light of dawn, nonetheless.
And I'll note for honor. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was to say, I'll note for Honor and Jastrick that although Father Donovich looks very exhausted, he still looks very tired. He's a lot more coherent than he seemed yesterday.
There's also the poor boy Lucien. Come here, boy. You're part of this too.
I don't have a token for him, but he's here.
I creep out from very nonchalantly out from behind my bush, and people just suddenly notice I'm there.
All right.
Everybody has to go behind a bush from time to time.
Well, you don't know where I went. I'm not here.
All right, I'm going over to what was going on to see see what she has to say. But I've got my arms crossed. I'm like, I still don't trust.
So Father Donovich says, so I understand Ismark has asked you to help him escort Irina to Vallaki. I share his concern that she must be gotten away from Castle Ravenloft as soon as possible. However, I would urge you to take her to the Abbey of St. Markovia in Kresk instead. It is true that Vallaki has walls and guards, and would certainly be safer than here, but I believe that the Abbey would be the only place where she'd be truly safe. It is a blessed place, protected by the Morning Lord.
How far away is that?
More than a day's ride, I'm afraid. You would need to find somewhere to stay the night between here and there. If you left now, you would have a good chance. You could easily, without too many side detours, you could make Vallaki by nightfall, but Kresk would be further still.
So.
But as you can see, and he kind of gestures up the castles, like, right now we are in Strahd's shadow constantly. If he wishes to have her, he must get her away as soon as possible.
Well,
I've already said my piece.
You're for delaying a bit, checking everything else out first.
I believe that there are things that need looking into that are more urgent than this.
Do we have a cart, horse, or anything else?
You don't, have them now, but there are some in town that you could probably arrange.
So we'd need at least a day, perhaps, to arrange for a cart and a horse proper anyway.
Well, we certainly wouldn't be able to travel as fast with that.
And Father Donovich says, and as long as you're staying on Old Svalich Road, which is the road that would lead through Vallaki to Kresk from here, the wagon would probably manage as long as you stay on the road, but any additional paths might be too difficult to take the wagon.
Let me make sure I've got the landscape right here. The Abbey of Kresk, was it?
Yes, the Abbey of St. Markovia is in the village of Kresk, which is on the western edge of this region.
And Vallaki was in which direction? Same direction?
Yes, so Vallaki as the raven flies would be to the northwest. However, you take the road southwest out of Barovia and it weaves around the mountains. And you would find it in the heart of a valley, approximately 6 hours at a good pace from here. And Kresk would be another several hours past that.
So Vallaki might be a good place to stop for the night in any case.
To be sure, safer than here. They do have walls and guards, as I mentioned. And I know that there are good people there. There's a church, St. Andral's Church, there, where you may be able to find refuge for the night.
So, that part's solved. If we're going in that direction anyway, we can stop in Vallaki and make a further decision if it's safe enough to stay. If we can't leave today anyway, because we haven't got wagon nor horse, that also solves your other problem. We're leaving tomorrow at the earliest anyway. So it gives us a day to poke around and see what's going on.
Will that be enough time?
Well, let's see.
No one knows till the end.
Ismark is kind of stepping forward. Is like, I don't want to wait. I understand you have other concerns, but my sister last night was nothing. If he sent anyone, he was toying with us. If he truly meant to have her. Last night, what you saw last night, a few bangs? No.
Maybe his eye has wandered away from your sweet sister.
And not only that,
Irina says, he left a rose on the door, a dead rose on the door.
What does that mean? Is it something specific to the village?
He wants me.
Okay, while they're talking, I'm going to take the priest aside and ask him about this woman selling dream pies. Has he heard of her? Does he know where she lives? Does he? Because she wanders through the streets calling out to sell dream pies.
He says, I'm familiar. Some of the people in the village have spoken of the dream pies. I've not met her myself, but I believe she makes them in the old windmill. They call it Old Bone Grinder.
There's a windmill nearby, is there?
It's somewhere in between here and Vallaki.
That's convenient. And how about the winery? Where's that compared to Vallaki?
The Wizard of Wines. It is past Kresk from here.
Okay. All right.
So it's on the way.
Well then.
Well, it's you would have to get to Kresk and beyond to reach the winery.
Okay. Very good then. I think we've got an agenda with a list with an ordered list on it now. So I'm in much better fettle.
So, the old woman makes her pies where she has a windmill where, say, young men and women might be put to work. I'm not saying it's actually that way, but it's a lot more than
I've only heard rumors, but as I said, you must get Irina out of here. It's this place. We cannot escape Castle Ravenloft here, and we have no walls. There is no protection. As far as I know, the only thing that has stopped Strahd thus far is that he is patient. If he has made up his mind to take her, as she seems to believe, I do not doubt that he has ways of tearing the house down around her.
All right. So there are only two more remaining issues before we leave. There's this child Lucius that we have with us.
Yep.
Yes, is what has become of his parents is.
And I would ordinarily ask that you. I would ordinarily hand him over to you to see if you can find a safe place for him. Except you already have someone in your care that we're not entirely sure is being well cared for. So I'm hesitant to go that route.
What's this?
The
screaming.
Scream we heard under the floor.
I wasn't there.
Oh, actually, neither was I. I was outside.
You didn't hear that just now?
No.
The people who went inside heard it.
Yeah.
The father has a son who's not doing so well. Father, we might want to take a closer look at him. I have some healing with me.
My son, perhaps, my son is here. I should tell you, my son Doru, he, a little more than a year ago, there was a wizard who came to town in black robes and had a fiery personality, and intended to lead a revolt against the Devil Strahd, and many of the townsfolk, my son included, were rallied in his support, and they all went off together to try to take down Strahd, and by all accounts, they all failed, and all died, but my son returned to me, and I believe that he can be cured, but at present he is dangerous, and I must keep him locked up for his own and everyone's protection. But I would ask you to leave me to cure him with my prayer, and you do what can be done for Irina and Ismark, so that they do not suffer the same fate.
I'd like to see the boy. I know it's your place and your church, but you suffered so much so far. Perhaps it's time to lean on someone else for a little while. I may not be tall of stature, but I'm big on the inside.
What? I'll be honest, the idea that someone could help feels like an answer to my prayers, but
Well, let us walk in the light of the thunder, then.
Okay.
Very well.
While they're talking, I'm going to see if I know anything about curing undeath.
Okay.
Now I get an advantage on intelligence checks, recalling information about undead.
You do. So, I would say, there you go. 19. What you know is, although there are rumors that killing the vampire, so a vampire can create what are known as vampire spawn, which are under their control,
Right.
And there are rumors, people believe that if you killed the main vampire, it would restore the vampire spawn. But what you know is that the sad truth is nothing will cure the vampire spawn. But they regain their own free will if the head vampire is killed. But they remain themselves a vampire.
All right. While the priest and Perry go off to talk to the son there, I'm going to inform the rest of the party of this fact, and I'm not even going to make it in terms of rumor. It's like, no, the only way to stop being undead is to be destroyed.
All right. So, what's the plan? Is it just Perry and Father Donovich going back inside, or is everyone following, or?
I'm gonna stay outside.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay outside again. Not really keen about going in there.
So, Perry, if it's just you and Father Donovich, he leads you back inside and to the first door on the right inside.
Okay.
And what you see is, you enter this room, and time and neglect have punched holes in the ceiling of this moldy room, which contains a few broken roof shingles amid puddles of water. In one corner, set into the floor, is a heavy wooden trapdoor held shut with a chain and a padlock. And you hear these screams of anguish coming through the door. And Father Donovich says, I'm afraid I've lost the key to the padlock. Someone of the attacks disappeared. I don't know where it is, but he's down there. He says he's hungry, he's starving, and my heart aches to hear my child in this condition, but I know that what he is hungry for we could not possibly give him.
What are you saying?
He wants blood.
Blood?
Blood.
Well, that might be a fine, tasty meal if you're a mosquito. But sure we can do something better than that.
If you have any ideas, I am eager to hear them.
Well, first, if I can see the boy or at least speak to him.
My concern is that if we open the trapdoor, I don't think that the two of us would be strong enough to keep him down there. He's very strong and very fast. I only, by tricking him, was able to get him down there. I don't think that you and I, by ourselves, would be able to prevent him from escaping.
Is he
I
bound
despair to think-
down there?
No, he's not bound. And if he were to escape and hurt someone, that's why I've had to keep him locked up all this time. It breaks my heart, but I don't know what else to do. I just continue to pray to the Morning Lord that there will be some way to help him, help restore him, or help restore him. Surely the Morning Lord has a way. The Morning Lord has a way.
It might take some work. The forces are up against her, a bit taller than I'm used to, but that's all right. We'll be fine. Now, maybe you need to stand back, but just in case, I'd hate for you to see your son in such distress.
And he says, I think you would probably want to have your friends with you before we open the trapdoor. I like I say, he's very fast. He's very strong. If you, I think we would need more in order to keep him down there. I wish him healed, not that he should escape and perhaps hurt someone.
Well, the chain doesn't look like it has much give. You wouldn't be able to open this. If you could, you already would have, right?
Well, how would you see him without opening it? I
Oh,
told you
yes.
I lost the key.
It has a little give, does it not? Or is it fast to the ground?
No, it's kind of swollen stuck, but you could probably open it an inch or two.
All right. An inch or two is enough to give a sight. I'll take precautions. And if we need be, my friends aren't far, and I can shout pretty loud.
All right.
First thing I do is I use that
Okay.
on myself,
Let's see.
specifically.
Okay. Yep.
Specifically for the last of the creatures.
Sure. Let's see. Protection from good and evil. All right. Yeah. Okay. Good. So.
I may be foolish, but I'm not stupid.
All right. So basically, you first are going to need to try to. You're going to need to roll a strength check to try to pull open this trapdoor even a little bit,
Well-
because as I mentioned, the roof is kind of got leaks in it in here, so the wood is swollen in the little.
So the wood is a bit swollen and not quite proper, eh?
Yeah.
A moment with mending, would that fix it?
Yeah.
I'd take a moment to fix it then.
All right. So the trapdoor, all of the water sort of just seeps out of it, and it looks like it would be more straightforward to open now then.
Should have done it in the other order, but I'll also do the same with the chain and the things that are holding it to the floor.
Okay, yeah, everything that was rusted a little bit looks like it's new now, and Father Donovich says, that's wonderful magic.
It's all in the service of Lathander. Brings a little light everywhere you can.
I believe he sent you to me.
Well, we all know how the gods work in mysterious ways. I'm not one to question it, just one to follow.
All right. So before we have you doing that, they've been in there a little while. Are you guys just still talking outside, the rest of you?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, Jasrek, what's the deal with this kid? You heard him. Did you see him?
I heard him. I figured that it's probably given his the little bit of information. I was pretty sure he'd been turned into some sort of undead. I was thinking more of a ghoul, but vampire makes sense as well.
Isn't it daylight hours right now, though? Wasn't the sun coming up when when we left for the graveyard?
Yeah,
So
so basically it's sort of just past dawn now. Like
Okay,
maybe,
so
maybe
why
half
would
an
it-
hour of light so far.
Why would a vampire be making that kind of noise downstairs then during daylight hours?
There's no light down there.
Yeah.
Maybe because it is daylight and I don't know.
When a vampire gets hungry enough, it will be active anytime. But the sunlight will still destroy it. Or at least weaken it, depending.
Yeah. I'm a pretty cold person, and I don't know. Let's invite the boy out for a chat then.
Mm-hmm. That was my thought.
All right. What are you thinking, Honor?
I'm not entirely sure what would be the best thing. I don't really agree with keeping him locked up, but then to the possibility of him getting out and finding shelter somewhere else that might be harder to get to, or have him go back to the castle on the hill isn't really appealing either.
You know, I have a sneaking suspicion that Perry might accidentally let that kid free. Why don't we get a little closer so that we can support him if something happens?
All right. Ismark and Irina are kind of standing by and saying, I am glad to see how eager you all are to do good in this world. I hope that this particular errand might not take up too much travel time.
Don't worry. Give him a real sarcastic look.
Okay.
And I'm going around to the front of the church.
Yeah, me too.
I'll take care of the rear.
Well, there's no entrance to the church.
Yeah, there's only
from the
just
back.
the front entrance. Yeah, so there's windows, but no
All right, then
other entrance.
Right. Yep,
Are
I'll
you
follow you
guys
up to the front.
are you going ahead and going inside?
No.
If the door isn't, I want to make sure the door isn't barricaded or anything.
The front
that we
door
can
is
get
not
in.
barricaded, it's just closed.
Okay. Then I'll be hanging around the front door,
Okay.
listening for Perry's.
And Honor, you
Excitement.
do have an Anubis token here too that you can.
Can I move it?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Where'd he go?
I would just
Front-
moved him
it's in
by
front
the.
now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Because I don't think I was able to move him last time.
Well, yeah, but you should be able to.
Okay, there he is.
Okay. So yeah, Ismark and Irina will come back down around there too. Everyone's kind of coming up to the front.
Yep.
What about you, Julius? Are you
He's on his way up to the front.
okay? So are you're hanging out outside just in case something like might try to get out?
Yep.
All right. So Perry, you have just made the trapdoor easier to open. Are you? What are you doing?
Partially reading my spells just to make sure I know what I'm doing. And I realize I don't have to choose, I guess, for protection from evil and good. It just is certain types, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to approach. I've already touched the top of the thing in the chains, but now I'm going to knock with purpose.
All right.
Doru, are you in there, boy?
You hear sort of a hiss, and it's too dark really to see anything through the crack, other than just a little bit of the stairs that go down into this.
Oh, but I can see stairs.
Only just the very top of the stairs.
Oh, well, that's a start. Let me see here. What's the range? The range is, it's only touch. So I guess it'll be the top part, the part that's open. I'll touch and cast light on it.
Okay. As soon as you do that, you hear sort of a.
It's all right, boy. You have nothing to fear from the light.
I can smell your blood.
Oh, well, I might have nicked myself shaving once or twice.
You hear the voice is not close. It sounds like it's being shouted across a room.
Tell me of your problems, boy. What has happened to you?
I'm hungry. I'm so hungry.
I can offer you a meat pie if you like. It's got a little blood, I'm sure.
Please. I can smell your blood. Please give me your blood.
Suppose I were to do that. Would you talk some sense then?
What? Yes, please,
Well,
please.
let's start with the sense talking then, because you got to earn it. I don't know you, and I'm a little worried about you.
You're lying. No. And he kind of just sort of degenerates into screaming again. Donovich says, I've not ever been able to get much sense of him, out of him. If he knows anything, he has said he'll say anything, he'll promise anything, but when he actually tries,
Have you ever fed him anything?
I'll confess I've been tempted to try to perhaps put a sheep down there or something.
But you've never tried it?
No, I didn't want to tell anyone else for fear that they would try to destroy him, and I did not believe that I would be able to get it to him safely. So I haven't tried.
Well, I'm sure we can get something to him safely. And if that calms him down enough to speak, then we can learn more. And the more we know, the more we can help him. And we can help others like him.
All of a sudden, the trapdoor just lurches, and you catch just the tiniest glimpse of a pale arm pressing against the trapdoor with pretty powerful force, and you hear the trapdoor actually, the wood of it kind of creak as it just... But the chains hold, and then you hear
Do I see an arm?
scrambling away. Just for an instant, like he scrambled up the stairs just to bash at it, and when it wouldn't open, he retreated again.
Give me your hand, boy. It's all right.
So hungry! Let me out! Let me out!
I think this will help to calm some of your hunger. If you'll let me try.
What? Let me out! I'm hungry!
I hold out my hand in the gap underneath the door. Just hold my hand for a second, would you? And I'm holding a spell.
I'm so glad I can't hear this.
Okay, let's see.
So I prep and hold this.
Yeah.
It'll
So-
go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The
It worked on Irina, so I have some.
yeah. So here's
The best thing can...
Who's faster?
here's the question. He is absolutely going to try to seize your hand and bite it.
Yep.
Are you prepared to let him try to do that if it allows you to get the spell off?
All I need is touch. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he is going to grab your arm and bite it unless you're trying to pull away when he tries to grab you. Because if you wait for him to touch you, he will already be grabbing you.
What I want to do is touch him first. So when his hand
Okay.
gets close enough, it's a slap on the hand, cast the spell, then back away.
All right, I'm going to have you make a dexterity saving throw then to try
Oh, of
to
course.
see if you can manage that.
Oh, of course. This is where it all goes spectacularly wrong. Let's see. Where are my saving throws? Do they have a clickable here on the first page?
You just click dexterity.
Well, no, because
Well,
you might,
sometimes they're
you can,
bonuses.
yeah, you
Oh.
can be proficient in some kinds of saving throws.
Right. There's
So-
there's a saving throws box on the
Yeah.
the right of the attributes.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no bonus. Oh well.
Yeah, clerics, like rogues have a dex. Wow. Okay. Double crit successes. So this thing reaches out to grab you faster. You were expecting it to be fast. It's very fast, but because you just had the light of Lathander guiding your hand, you're able to flip your hand around and touch the back of his hand and then pull away without him grabbing you. But as you feel the spell being cast, you feel the energy being channeled out, but it doesn't seem to have any effect. And he pounds on the platform again, screaming in frustration. Ah! And he slams it a couple of times.
The healing spell doesn't even make him uncomfortable. It's because usually undead are harmed by healing spells.
Perhaps in other editions.
Okay.
It's also less a restoration, not necessarily healing. So
yeah, all right.
Maybe a little different. No, I'm going to back up. Oh dear. Well, I had to try, at least for now, Father. I think he might be beyond my current state, but at least I've learned something.
And he nods and just says, "Yes, I understand. It is a struggle that will require faith and patience, I believe.
But there's hope. Where there's light, there's hope, and the light comes back every single day."
He kind of nods to you and says, Yes, I believe that's true. If we are faithful long enough, the Morning Lord will provide.
Faithful and take a few precautions. I'd put something extra on top of that piece of wood. If you have a piece of furniture that's still intact and heavy enough, maybe another chain if you can afford it. And
he says his bed is in the other room across the hall. We could perhaps we could move his bed frame on top of the trapdoor.
The mattress will help muffle the sound.
But we'd better go see my friends now.
Okay. All right. So if you're making your way back outside then?
Making the way in the world today with everything I've got.
All right.
Well, folks, that was interesting.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Well, sadly, Father Donovich's son, young Doru, is suffering mightily. I think there's hope, but for the time being, he's best kept in the dark, away from people where he might harm. There's hope, though. We'll come back another time. In the meantime, though, some of you taller, stronger folks might assist the poor father in carrying a little bit more weight onto the trap door, holding a son.
I'll help.
Oh, so
I'll help too.
All right. So yeah, you guys using Donovich suggested the bed, but you also realize that there's lots of pieces of broken wooden pew that probably could
We'll put the mattress down first and then pile up stuff on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
while they're doing that, I'm just going to take a little time to mend the front door to make some of the stuff look a little bit better.
Oh, okay, yeah. Father Doru just says, truly the Morning Lord has sent you to bolster my faith and my hope, my resolve, and I thank you for it. And I know that it can be a burden, but I hope that your work here will also be a joy.
I'll do everything I can, and when I see some more that might be able to help, I'll see if I can send them your way. Have faith and have some time, but do keep an eye out just in case. Your son is in a precarious state.
Yes, and I know that Irina and Ismark, they may have seemed a bit cold, but they have suffered mightily. They've only just laid their father on the ground, and with Strahd after them, they are just doing what they can to protect their own.
And you are doing what you can to protect yours.
let's get going. We're burning daylight.
All right.
You don't actually burn daylight, you know. It's freely given.
All right. So, are you guys? Were you going to try to find a wagon? Because
I don't think we need one.
yeah. Okay.
Everyone here is healthy. We can walk.
All right.
It's a waste of
You
time.
you didn't really decide what you were doing with Lucien unless he's coming with you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We need to, Lucian.
Yeah.
So we need to make a road trip. I think it'll be dangerous. I want to know what you would like to happen with you. Because I don't want you to be going back to that old lady.
He kind of nods and just says, "I love my mom and dad, but I think if I go back there, they'll just give me to her again."
Do you have any other relatives in town?
No.
Aunts, uncles.
People
Anyone
you
in-
trust. People
anyone
that
in the
maybe
ci-
your parents don't like.
And he
Or
kind
maybe in the city? Have you ever heard of any relatives in Wallachia?
he says, I think I do have some cousins in Valaki,
All right.
but I've never seen them.
Do you know their names?
They have the last name. Hang on, I have his name. Just a second. This is. Oh, hang on. I have to go to slightly. I have a different thing to look at that had his last name on it. All right. He says, yes, they're the Jarov family. My aunt's name is. It's something with an M. Jarov,
Right.
though. They're my father's sister and my cousins.
We'll see if we can bring you there.
Yeah, that should be enough information to go on.
Okay.
Is that what you'd like?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right.
Shall we inform the boy's parents before we leave town?
I don't think they care.
I think they do, but I think they're in terrible states. They'd know better if he was taken care of better.
Then they'd know where to track him down.
Not too many want to take the trip.
Lucien just kind of says, maybe when I'm with my cousins, we can write them a letter.
That's a good idea.
You still got mail. That's pretty good.
Until a little while ago, they had wagons bringing wine from further west. So yes,
True enough.
let's go and get on the road to Wallachia.
All right. You keep saying Wallachia. It is just Valaki.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
right.
Is there anything we need to grab from the house before we go?
Ismark and Irina had both kind of packed their stuff to bringing all the way here, not needing to go back.
Yep. Let's be gone.
All right. So,
All right. A thimble full of wine for the road, then. It's a long walk.
That's an awfully big symbol.
yeah. All right. So, going to be back on this big map, and remember, you only have just a very small piece of it on the right side revealed so far.
All right. So I need to scroll around and find our part.
Yeah, it should be on the rightmost part.
Helps to zoom out.
Yeah. Let's see. So, yeah, you zoom out and oops. All right, so you're getting on the road.
Oh, here we go.
On the road again. We're heading out.
I was
in
just
the
singing
land
that,
of Barovia.
but I was muted.
All right. So, as a reminder, each of these hexes is like a quarter mile. And you guys, at a traveling pace, are going to be making about 3 miles an hour.
Okay.
So that's
About
kind of
12 hexes.
yeah.
Okay, and the village we're leaving, that's on the left-hand side there. And so we're headed east.
Well,
Yeah.
West.
West.
We're headed
Oh.
west.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or unless you're seeing a mirror image for some reason.
Okay, no, I can see more of the. All right, so
Okay.
we can't see that part of the map is blacked off right now.
Yeah.
The part to the west. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. So I just opened up a bit more, for example.
I figure that
Okay.
Perry's walking song is always look on the bright side of life.
That sounds about right.
Jasmine does not sing along.
All right.
That has a really terrible ending.
That's true. Yeah, mine is running on empty.
So you start walking and you're taking this road. It is muddy and kind of rutted. There's lots of mud and puddles right now from the rain last night, but it's relatively well maintained otherwise, so it's not too hard in terms of the travel. As you make your way about 15 minutes outside of town, you come to a river with a bridge over it. This river flows as clear as a blue winter sky through the valley, and it's roughly 50 feet across, and with a depth maybe 5 to 10 feet, and so there's an arching stone bridge going across it.
Lucien, what's the name of this river here?
Lucien says, I don't know. And Ismark says, it is the Ivlis River.
Ivlis.
Ivlis. Yes, it runs past, there's some marshes to the east, and then it runs along up into the mountains, and there's a big waterfall called the Serre Falls.
Do I know whether vampires have problems with running water?
Make an intelligence check. You know that there's remind me, is it advantage or just?
I have advantage. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So with the 14, you know that yes, that is part of the stories. Is that running water is a problem for vampires.
All right.
So as you continue along this path, following along the road, you're making your way for another 40 minutes or so, and it kind of curves around through the woods. At one point you're going along the river again, and then back into the woods, and then you're seeing some hills and mountains start to, the elevation is increasing in that direction, but you come to a crossroads, and let's see. Also, hang on, let me...
We come to a crossroads and we take it.
Okay.
Well, that's what Yogi said to do.
So
Yeah.
what you find at this crossroads too is that there's what looks like the remains of an old wooden gallows, but it looks like it has had pieces of it torn up and kind of put into almost more of a pyre shape, and then partly burned and charred. There's a chill wind blowing down from the high ground that's further west. In fact, let me just go ahead and reveal a little bit more on the map here. And the well-worn road splits here, and a signpost opposite from this burned pyre gallows thing points off in 3 directions. Barovia Village to the east, which is the way you just came. Tser Pool, which is spelled Tser. Tser Pool to the northwest. And Ravenloft/Valaki to the southwest. The northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, while the southwest fork clings to an upward slope. And across from the gallows, a low wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves shrouded in fog. And you suddenly hear the caw of a raven. The raven flies in and lands right in front of you, Julius. And then flies off to the northwest, the path that goes down into the trees.
Friend of yours?
Perhaps.
Let's continue on to Valaki. That's our unless this side road will take us toward the mill. Because our next destination is the mill.
Ismark says, I believe that this path to the northwest goes down to the Tser Pool, and there's a Vistani camp down that way.
We'll continue going towards Valaki. Who are the Vistani?
Oh, I guess if I haven't established that. Sorry. I guess in character then, Ismark just says, the Vistani are. You may have noticed here and there you see people dressed a bit more colorfully. Those might likely be Vistani. It's just, I don't know if you call them a tribe. They're a group of people that seem to have powers of some sort. I believe that some of them may worship Strahd, but they seem to have the power to come and go from these mists. Only they do know the secret that allows them to apparently come and go.
We may want to talk to them later, but for now we have business in Vistaki.
Oh, they say they're allies of Strahd, eh?
Some of them, I believe, do work for him. It's hard to know. I don't think it's true universally, but I've been wary in the past.
Maybe that Aragal fellow is related. Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's continue on.
Are you all starting to head to the southwest?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do see this raven swoop back around again, and it actually like flutters in your face a little bit, Julius, and
Okay.
then it flies to the northwest again.
Okay, that's either a friend of yours or you've eaten a cracker recently.
I was thinking that he owed somebody money.
It looks like it wants us to go
To the northwest. I am starting to reconsider our destination here. I think we are being summoned to the northwest, and that may be where we confront our enemy.
Really?
Ismark's kind of saying, are we trying to confront an enemy right now?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I want to do.
It sounds like something I need to do.
Well,
What do you mean? Do you have an enemy here you haven't spoken of?
Perhaps I should level with you.
perhaps you should.
Are you a crow?
I had a vision. I will confess, it was not entirely stomach distress that caused me to disappear the other night. But I did have a vision of my grandfather, and he told me that you will know that your fate is coming when the ravens gather to show you the way. And now I have a raven summoning me to the northwest, and my destiny is to defeat a great evil.
It's smart.
So if I'm going to fight a great evil, I need to follow the directions the ravens are telling me.
Ismark, how far away is that pool?
He says it's only maybe 15 minutes that way.
All right, then let's go check it out.
Yes.
All right.
Was your grandfather more specific about any of the details? That seems a bit vague.
That is really all the vision said, that I will know that my fate is coming when the ravens gather to show me the way, and I know that my fate is to defeat a great evil. And this raven is clearly summoning me the other way.
There was only one raven. I'm just saying.
Harry, have you never had a vision?
Well, I've had many, but I also question most of them.
Yes, but you were also drinking wine at the time.
Yeah. Have you ever had a sober vision? You know, these dreams, they're never very detailed, but you have to follow prophecy.
Well, I know where my visions come from.
Enough arguing. Let's go.
All right. So,
God, I hate arguments when everybody agrees.
all right. So, you guys take the northwest road, and the road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above. There is a clearing here next to a river that widens to form a small lake several hundred feet across. 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside. Oh, you know what? In fact, let me go ahead and move you to that map. All right.
Darkness envelops us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ominous.
Well, I mean, as soon as let me put you guys on the map, and then I'll continue reading this. Let's see. Okay. All right. Who am I missing still? Okay. Need is. So, are you guys still seeing black?
Just black.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I just have to do the same settings as before. All right. Illumination. Okay. You know what? Just let me. Do you see?
There you
I
go.
see
Yes.
horses.
You see everything now?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So let me make sure I'm showing what you guys can see on the. I need to have the stream show the right bits. Oh, there we go. Okay. So back to my my description here. Okay. 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter. I'm worried the stream is not going to have. That's fine. Can't scroll this one over as much as I want. Anyway, 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Near this tent, 8 unbridled horses drink from the river. The mournful strains of an accordion clash with, the singing of several brightly clad figures around a bonfire. A footpath continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest's edge. And so, before you guys kind of approach, Julius, you do see that the raven flies over and kind of perches on the top of the one rectangular tent, and then kind of makes eye contact and then flies away.
I suggest that we go to the big tent over there by the river.
All right. As you guys are approaching, some of the grouping around the fire here, it's men and women, and they see you and they call out. It's like, travelers, come and share our fire for a moment.
Smile and walk forward.
I keep proceeding toward the big tent.
Right. Would you like some wine?
Oh, I speak your language.
I'm going to follow Julius.
Okay. Can you guys move yourselves now?
No.
Not yet. No.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. Let me. Need to reset those things every time, I guess. All right.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. Okay. And Nutty.
Yep, I can move.
Can't
So
move
where's
mine
the-
yet.
I'm getting everybody, but I have to do it
okay.
one at a time.
Okay.
All right. And
There we go.
yep. And
And Perry moves over toward one of the barrels.
Oh, I know.
Halfling knows how to have a good
Alphabet.
time.
All right. All right. Everyone should be able to move now. All right. So, the people around the fire just say, "Come, join us for a while. We're sharing stories." Uh, uh, I'm suddenly blanking on the name, but Ephraim there was just telling a story of the wizard who fought Strahd.
Oh, that sounds like a fine story. You said wine.
Ah, yes. Do join us. Come. You're a strange-looking little fellow. I'm sure you have interesting stories to share. And they offer. They have a cask of wine, and they offer to fill a cup for you.
Oh. How does it taste?
It seems like the same wine that you had at the other tavern. Like it's probably literally the same like vintage.
Oh, well, it's still wine, and it's still like early afternoon. So.
All right. So all of this has kind of occurred before anyone has really managed to like get to and at the rectangular tent. But are you guys continuing there, or are you maybe stopping? Because you would have heard them calling out all of this. Are you?
I'm very intent on, no pun intended, intent on the tent.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm backing him up. Yep.
Okay. So when you guys then go into that tent, you see magic flames cast a reddish glow over the interior of this tent, revealing a low table covered in black velvet cloth. Glints of light seem to flash from a crystal ball on the table as a hunched figure peers into its depths. As the crone speaks, her voice crackles like dry weeds. At last, you have arrived. And I have a handout for you, I think. Oh, no, I don't have a handout, but there's a token of her, and that's what she looks like.
Okay. Oh, that right there in the middle of the tent there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as she kind of cackles, though, she kind of looks between the two of you. Jasric, Julius, I definitely have some things to tell you, but we'll need to tell all of you at once. Go fetch your companions, and then we'll discuss.
How do you know our names?
Oh, I know all sorts of things. I am a seer.
I'll poke my nose out the window and waves like, "You can drink later, Perry. Come on, we got business over here."
So there I was, and I had. Oh, this lady comes up. What? Oh, all right. I'll be back to finish my story later. I have another cup.
I'll
Alright,
grab
so
a refill
are
on
you-
his way over.
Are you all making your way back to that other tent then?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess so.
And so, despite the the size of the tokens in the grid and everything, like it's a small enough tent that it's a little crowded to get you all in there, but you can fit in there more than like the tokens in the grid and the map would indicate.
Okay.
So you can all kind of crowd it into there if you're doing that now. And then she just says, "Ah, Honor, Perry. Good to see
Hello,
you."
miss.
Do we have Nutty on here? Did I not?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Oh,
I entered
you
someone-
got someone on top of you. Okay,
Yeah,
that's all.
that's
All right. Okay.
Here.
Well, it's that kind of
Shadow. And it's like, Shadow. It's good to see you away from those people filling your heads with nonsense. Those, you may call them family, but they're not your true family. Honor. You've come a long way since fighting those twig blights, haven't you? And Perry, do you
Yes,
still
ma'am.
have the wig?
Well, I don't wear it, but yes.
Yes, and Julius, I believe the ravens must have led you here.
They did.
And
didn't-
Jasric, are you still looking for your sister?
You've got a sister, Jasric. Well, congratulations. Now, miss, I didn't catch your name.
may call me Madam Eva.
I hope that's your name.
It is.
Well, well
Today.
met, Eva.
Well met indeed. It is critical that you have come to see me today. It was foretold, you might say. I will show you your destiny. I shall call upon the fortunes of Ravenloft to tell you how you might break the curse that rules over this land. Does that sound like something you would like to know?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yes.
Who do you represent, ma'am?
I represent someone who would like to see the curse on this land broken.
Well, that seems like we're at least allies for now. How could I say no?
I would urge you not to. So, what we shall do is consult the cards. The Taroka deck will tell us the location of treasures that will aid you. The discovery of an ally who can bolster your efforts, and where you will find your final enemy.
Okay.
Alright. Let me
Whew.
I have to get this set up because there's a neat little thing that actually I get to actually play with cards here.
Oh, we can't miss that.
No. Okay. And so she pulls out this well-worn deck of cards that has a sort of a fancy pattern on the back, and they kind of sheen. They look really old, but they're not dog-eared or wrinkled or anything. They just seem like, just without even really having any kind of a understanding why, you just perhaps feel like they're just old somehow. If that makes any sense. Probably not. Anyway.
My God, your cars are old.
So she...
Don't you know never to talk about a lady's cards age?
Oh, I'm sure they far outstrip her own.
And she says, you might be surprised, but this first card will tell us of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. She draws a card. Do you guys see this on the map here?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yep.
The beggar. This is the 6 of coins. And let me... A wounded elf has what you seek. He will part with the treasure to see his dark dreams fulfilled.
A wounded elf.
And just as a note, you guys should write this stuff down. Alright. Next. This next card will tell us of a powerful force for good and protection. A holy symbol of great hope. She draws another card. Ha! The 6 of stars. The evoker. Let's see.
If we get another 6 cards, I'll be worried. A 6 card, I will be worried.
Well, this is supposed to be completely random. This little card thing here says, search for the crypt of a wizard ordinaire. His staff is the key.
Search for the crypt of a wizard.
Yes. The crypt of a wizard ordinaire. His staff is the key. This next card is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight.
Oh, I like that.
Aha, the Three of Swords, the warrior. Let me make sure I'm having that right. Go to the mountains. Climb the white tower guarded by golden knights.
That was a gold tower?
The white
tower.
tower
Oh, sorry.
guarded by golden knights.
Thank you.
The gold tower is right out.
So the white tower with the gold knights, not the gold tower with the white knights. And the green tower with the purple knights, well, we'll just leave them. Okay.
The other towers may have interesting things, but not the treasure you seek.
'Tis a silly place.
This next card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. The Eight of Stars,
nice.
the Necromancer.
Nice.
A woman hangs above a roaring fire. Find her, and you will find the treasure. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I've done the wrong thing. I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Scratch that.
Yeah. So, sorry, because it's the other... I'm sorry that I screwed that up. Okay, hang on.
This is why you don't use pen in D&D.
Yeah,
Okay,
my mechanical pencils are buried away somewhere.
sorry.
Yeah. Sticky pad.
Okay. So, this is where Strahd's enemy actually was. The cards were stuck together, you see. This is the Jack of the
Looks like the King of Stars.
Executioner card. Seek out the brother of the Devil's Bride. They call him the Lesser, but he has a powerful soul. I suspect you have found this young man already. Well done.
Yes.
Ismark's kind of just, she looks right at him when she says that, and he's kind of like, he kind of does the whole thing like he points at himself. What?
This is the card that shed light on the one that will help you greatly. Was it still that
Yeah.
category? Okay.
Right.
Good on you, boy.
And this last card, your enemy is a creature of darkness whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. And Raven. Ooh. The Queen of the Raven card. Find. Oops. See, I keep. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Aha. When you seek to find your enemy, you will find him when you look to the mother's tomb. And thus your fates are told. Be wary. You will find your struggle is a difficult one, even with all the tools you can bring to bear. If you were to try to face him without these tools, I suspect your fate would be the same as it has been for all those who have confronted Strahd in the past.
It's a most generous tale, I'll be sure to say, but... whew. Do you know this land well, then? You've lived here all your life, I'm assuming.
Ah, indeed. Very long time indeed.
So do you know where some of these places might be, or do you have a map of the area?
Oh, it wasn't helpful enough to tell you of the existence of treasures and give you clues as to where you might find them. I have to walk you there by holding your hand as well.
I'm going to walk out of the tent.
That's a rather humorless laugh.
Well, I'm sure that there will be many people around just eager to help you out.
So
But I
our
have helped you all that I will today.
Our shopping list is we need the elf's treasure, a holy symbol, wizard's staff, sword of sunlight, and this boy's soul. That sound about right?
I think this boy...
All right, open wide, Mark.
This boy will hold on to his soul, I think.
I think they're all
But we've already got it, so, he sticks around with us, we can make use of it.
It does seem that you've got a bit of a destiny ahead of you.
And he says, I guess so. I've kind of always felt that I wished that there would be something that could be done to defeat Strahd, but it always seemed hopeless. But perhaps your arrival was fated to help to reach this. So just for everyone, I'll go ahead and give you the I'll text, send in text the quotes for everything later.
Oh, okay.
So,
I've got them all written down too.
Okay.
I've got notes, but the whole text would be helpful.
But I've already clicked away from the thing that had all the text. Sorry, so I don't have it ready to just read right back. Unfortunately.
Also, Ismark, that's the second person today to say that it might have been fated to meeting us. So I think that's a good sign.
Well, I if our fates are good, in any rate.
Now, cup of wine for the road?
And Madame Ava is just kind of, those of you still in the tent, she's kind of saying, all right, off with you now.
All right, we're getting out of here. Sorry. Let's go back to that fire. They wanted to tell us about this wizard that tried to defeat Strahd. I think we should listen to their story.
I think so.
I think it's a great idea.
Let me guess. You might be able to enjoy the story better with a cup of wine?
What a great suggestion.
And,
I wonder if this wizard is the wizard ordinaire whose crypt we need to find.
May
That
also
was
be
my thought.
may have also been the wizard a year ago that tried to lead a bit of a rebellion and didn't quite come back so well.
I think that is this wizard that he's talking about.
Yeah. I think they're all the same wizard.
So as
There's only one wizard.
come back out, and Ismark is saying, well, it's certainly going to be hard for me to begrudge the time we've spent here, given what has just occurred, assuming we can trust them, but I do hope we won't be staying too long. We still need to get to somewhere safe before dark. But I will trust in the fates that you know best for now.
So, folks, the story you promised, and the wine, maybe.
It's like, yes! Pull up a seat, have some wine, any of you who want some? We're always eager to tell people stories. All of these lot, this guy is kind of pointing at everyone. He's like, they've heard this story all these times. We love telling our stories to people new. But which story was it that you wanted? The wizard?
That's the one you were telling, yes.
Yes, the wizard. A mighty wizard came to this land over a year ago. And just incidentally, even though it's only like 9 in the morning, and he's obviously drunk. But it's like, I remember him like it was yesterday. This wizard, he stood exactly where you're standing. Very
Did
charismatic.
somebody say you're a wizard, Harry?
What?
No, he was a hairy wizard.
He was a hairy wizard. And very charismatic he was. he thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the devil Strahd. He stirred them with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle en masse. When the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. A few stood their ground and were never seen again. But the wizard and the vampire, they cast spells at each other. Their battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft to a precipice overlooking the falls. I saw the battle with my own eyes. Thunder shook the mountainside, and great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard. Yet by his magic he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck the wizard, and again he stood his ground. But when the devil Strahd fell upon him, the wizard's magic couldn't save him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death. I climbed down to the river to search for the wizard's body, to see if he had anything of value. But the river Ivlis had already spirited him away, never to be seen again. That's that story, anyway. Other stories suggest he is hiding out in the mountains. But, to be sure, he did fall from the falls, and it's a long way down.
Tell me, what was the name of this wizard?
What was it? Is something with an M, I think. I'm sorry, the wine has stolen the name from me at the moment.
And how about the rest of you? You've all heard the story 1,000 times. Surely the name might stick once.
They say, yes, it was definitely something with an M.
Are they all in their cups too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look, in fact, like they might be just still doing it from last night.
Well,
I actually like these guys.
They're saying, well, we like people who like us. Feel free to stay a while. Share some of your stories.
Hey Perry, why don't you finish that story you were telling them?
oh, I could do that. I do look over and are we? I mean, we're in a bit of a hurry.
Yes.
Do we have time for just a wee story, or
So,
three?
then maybe they'll tell us another.
Oh well, a story for a story. Then I can do that.
I'm looking very impatient.
And he proceeds to launch into a story. I won't make everybody take my improv story in real time. It's
You can what's the gist of it?
well, it would have been a baking story. It would have started like many of his stories in the kitchen as he was in the middle of trying to get something made, and was interrupted by a fair maiden in some distress. It'll play up some of the seedier sides, perhaps, of the distress that she was in, and the dress that he helped her out of. But that was a long time ago, when I was much younger and a little more nimbler, and the light of the thunder hadn't fully struck my face just yet.
Can I have Julius and Perry both make a perception check?
Totally.
Right with you. Here we go. Perception.
Right. So, Perry, as you're getting into your story, one of these Vistani starts to stand up and like drunkenly lurch away, like they're going to use the the facilities,
trees.
so to speak. And as he bumps against you, you realize that he's just lifted a little, like just I'm thinking like just some little bit of belonging from your pack. Like,
I've caught him at it though.
You noticed that he was doing it.
Can I grab his hand?
And he's like, oh, what? And he kind of looks at, what, oh. And he looks down at his hand, which is holding, I don't know, maybe like it's a prayer book or something. Like something that would have been towards the top of your pack.
Okay. You seem to have slipped, my friend.
Oh, sorry. Old habit. Sorry, my apologies. And he kind of does sort of a drunken bow, and he hands it back.
If you're curious about the stories of the thunder, I can give you a good sermon or two.
Ah, yes, indeed. But perhaps in a moment, I will be back. And he kind of wanders off.
Well, as much as I've enjoyed the wine and the company, if you've no more stories to tell for the moment, we do have a road to hit.
Indeed.
I just have a quick question. Do you guys have any stories about the devil Strahd and taking young girls?
And they kind of, they all sort of light up and say, we have stories about Strahd.
Tell us some stories about Strahd.
Okay. This could be useful.
All right, hang on. Let me find their stories of Strahd.
Okay.
All right.
I think we're staying the night.
Well, no, it's still only like 9 in the morning.
9 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, you can stay in the night if you want. I'm just saying it's not like it's been forced on you at this point.
Well, they have more wine, though.
So, Nobilis, was that an in-character thing or an out-of-character thing about you being hungry?
I think that was a...
Out of character and you went to get food?
I don't know.
No, he's still there.
Yeah. So they kind of all kind of get a hush because this seems like this is maybe their favorite subject. They tell you a number of things. One is that Strahd von Zarovich, she comes from a royal bloodline. He actually died centuries ago, but he endures. He's one of the undead, feasting on the blood of the living. And many of the superstitious call him the Devil Strahd, but he is a vampire, not a devil. He named his castle Ravenloft after his beloved mother, Queen Ravenovia. And that is the name of the castle, whereas the land of Barovia is named for his father, King Barov. Strahd, you asked about taking girls. Strahd has taken many consorts over the years. But he has known only one true love in all of his centuries. A Barovian peasant girl named Titania. But her fate is lost to the shadows of the past.
What? Can you tell us more about the Titania?
Well, she was beautiful, and Strahd truly loved her. That is what we know.
And he took her to the castle?
Yes. Or she was there. It is not. The details, they vary. If you want truth, you know he loved her. His only true love, he still pines for her. He takes many consorts, but they are all pale imitations.
How do you know this?
Irina, by the way, just kind of says, he called me Titania once. When I didn't understand what he was... I don't know. Never mind. Never mind. And she starts looking down, and she's kind of flushed.
I'm afraid he might have been looking for a replacement. And maybe you bear a passing resemblance to this Titania. Or he was lost in the throes of a moment. I know that moment.
So I'm sorry. What was the other? What was your other question?
How do you know that he was in love with this Titania? How long ago was this?
Oh,
And, how do you know he
centuries.
still pines?
Centuries, and the stories they get passed down over the generations.
Hmm.
You know, and some of us,
Go ahead.
some Vistani are blessed with prescience. You already talked to Madame Eva, yes? She knows her stuff.
What happens to his consorts?
Well, I would imagine he turns them into vampires.
Have you ever seen his castle? The inside?
Inside? I would not go there. I suspect that visitors, strangers not welcome at the castle without an invitation, and I don't particularly have any desire to go. I see it from a distance, that is enough for me.
Do you ever see people going in or out of the castle?
Well, I don't hang out at the front door. He does bring visitors sometimes. He draws people to him from outside of Barovia.
Does he leave his castle?
Oh, yes. He travels. Never outside of Barovia, but he can be found. He is free to leave his castle, typically not during the day.
Does he leave dead roses behind for his consorts?
I have not heard of this, but it sounds pleasantly morbid.
The river Evelis is right here, eh?
Yes, made our lovely little campsite pool by the water.
And you mentioned the waterfall. It's not far from here too, huh?
Ah, yes, in fact, if you were to follow the footpath north from here, you would come to the base of the falls.
How far away is it?
Oh, perhaps only 15 minutes that way.
Oh.
But you would then find yourself at the bottom of a cavern, would be a crevasse, difficult to climb. If you are planning to go any other place, that will be a dead end for you, unless you have climbing gear.
What the devil do I have?
Are you
Yeah.
safe from Strahd here?
Safe? The only way to be safe from Strahd is to stay on his good side.
Do you have any other stories? You mentioned you could tell stories about Strahd. What other stories do you have?
Well, let's see. So, Strahd, he rules over this land in a way that may be unfamiliar to you if you are just used to human rulers who are ordinary. He is able to use wolves, bats, creatures of all sorts, undead, to spy on his realm. He also he only likes to feed on the people of Barovia who have souls. Do you know about the souls of people of Barovia?
No. Tell
Yeah,
us.
tell us.
Some may say this is superstition, but I know it is fact. Many people in Barovia have no souls. They are husks. See, souls of people who die in Barovia cannot escape to the afterlife. No, they are trapped here. Neither can new souls enter. And so, many of the people born without souls, whereas the existing souls are recycled, if you will. And so, you may have encountered here and there people in Barovia who seem curiously devoid of ordinary emotion. Probably they have no soul.
That's an interesting theory.
Yeah. It is a fact. I know it to be true because my heart tells me it is true.
Well, can't really argue with one's heart.
Yeah. Yes, this. Oh, I cannot think of any other stories of Strahd right now. But what else would you have of us while you are sharing our company? We could tell you about the lands. Where
All
are
right.
you off to?
Yeah.
What is your business traveling through this place?
We're headed to Valaki.
Ah, Lucky. They do not like us, Vistani and Valaki. They keep
Why
us
not?
out with their walls.
Walls keep you out?
If we were interested in going into Valaki, we could perhaps find a way, but a 15-foot wall manned with guards with pikes, that sounds like a lot of work to go to a very dismal place.
I see. I hear you. So, how do other people get into Valaki?
I would presume they convinced the guards that they should be let in.
Oh, okay. So you say it's a dismal place. Why do you say that?
The people there, they are either in despair or they are mad. They have
Sounds like-
ridiculous festivals.
No.
I do not. Vistani are not welcome there. I only know what I hear.
I like ridiculous festivals. Thank you. Is there any good towns between? Because Valaki's kind of far away. We're probably going to need a place to stop before we get there. Is there any town that I don't know we'd be getting to? I don't know, closer to sundown. Not.
Valaki is, if you wish a town, Valaki is the only place. The only thing between here and Valaki is the gates to Castle Ravenloft and the old windmill, and that should be avoided at all costs.
Oh, why should we
Yeah.
avoid the windmill?
I will say no more on the subject. Stay away from the windmill.
Okay. And how far is Valaki from here?
It was
If
a
you-
couple days, wasn't it?
No, it's Valaki. The Valaki, if you maintain a good pace, perhaps 5 or 6 hours from here.
Oh, okay. I was under
Okay.
the impression it was a lot further.
Just so we're clear, this windmill is along the way. But how far along the way?
It is perhaps halfway between here and Valaki.
Okay, so we can keep an eye out for it then.
Yes, you would have to go out of your way to reach it.
Is there a sign or something? In case one of us wanders into the forest to have a pee or something.
No, it is a road leads to it. Do not take that road, is my advice.
Okay. Oh, and I see you have this wonderful vintage of wine. I was told, however, the winery's in trouble. Is that true? Do you know where that is?
Ah, I haven't heard that, but I hope it is not true.
The Wizard of Wine, somewhere over this way, I think.
Yes, it is beyond. The Wizard of Wine is beyond Kresk.
Oh, right, right.
It is
Well.
it is more than a day's journey from here. You would go through Valaki to get there.
Right.
All right. Is that where you get your wine? Do they stop and give it to you on their way to whatever the town we just came from was?
We usually buy it from, yes, yeah. We get our wine. We have our ways.
Oh, that's not ominous. Thanks. You've been very helpful. And
You really
your
have.
Company has been fantastic.
Of course. We are glad to have newcomers to these lands that we may share our knowledge. In fact, I hesitate to even mention this because you clearly have business here in Barovia. But I don't know if you have encountered the mists that might have prevent you from leaving. Have you encountered this phenomenon?
We've heard about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we've also heard that you have a way to get through those mists.
Indeed we do. We sell a potion that if you drink it, renders you immune to those mists.
Now, that's a nice potion to have.
Indeed.
Do you know what the mists are?
The mists are, they are a poisonous magic that is tied into Strahd's control over this land.
Well,
Are you interested in purchasing some of these potions?
well, now, do you stay here all year round, or you travel around a bit? You look like a
No, we
Volvo
travel
people.
around. This is a place that we have stopped many times, but we make our way from one land to another, finding fortune where we may.
Ooh,
And where might we find these black mists?
Oh, well, simply
just
try
pop
to
up?
leave Barovia and they will find you.
Oh.
Can I check if he's lying about this potion?
Yeah, make an insight check.
yeah, I'm gonna also do that.
Alright, hold on, let me make sure I know what Okay. Shadow, as far as you know, he seems like he's, I mean, hard to know. But Perry, you're pretty sure that they will really sell you a potion that will not actually help you with the mist.
Our business keeps us here for a while, so we've no need necessarily to skip out of town. But with good fortune, we'll run across you people once more.
Ah, yes. Well, you let us know when you need it. We will have some for you.
Oh, until then the wine will do.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
course.
And you know, I'd love to be able to share back, but you know, we're just running through, and I feel bad. You know, coming and having my short friend here drink up so much of your wine. So
I know.
I
More than my fair
have.
share.
I have one of these berries left. If any of you find yourself in need before the end of the day, where you're very hungry or you need a little pick-me-up, just eat that berry.
Well, a tiny gift to be sure, but it sounds like it packs a punch, so thank you.
Wonderful things come in tiny packages.
They do indeed.
A tiny gift from a tiny friend. Sorta.
All right.
All right.
Are you guys heading back out then?
Yes, let's be on our way.
All right. So there was the footpath to the north, which, as they said, led to the base of the falls, and then there was the way you came towards the south.
We're gonna go back the way we came.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm wondering if the base of the falls is the wizard's grave, but
We need to get to Valaki.
we can go.
We'll want to come back here at another time, maybe, but that was my thought too.
Well, maybe when we come back, we'll get some good climbing gear.
And I'm not convinced that that's the only wizard ordinaire either. There's also the Wizard of Wines. That winery may very well be
True now.
related.
But the wizard they told over the story stood up to Strahd for quite a while, and the Vistani had a good idea in searching to see if he had any things of power on him.
But is he a wizard ordinaire?
Maybe not, but he might be a wizard of convenience. Back to the road.
All right, so you make your way back up that road. You're going uphill. Excuse me, going back towards where the crossroads was, and soon enough, you reach that strange burned out gallows pyre thing, and you.
Can I take just a quick moment to take a closer look at this thing?
Sure. It looks like it was a standard gallows, but then bits of it were pulled off and propped up, like to try to make a bonfire on top of the gallows. And then it's partially charred, like it was set on flame and then doused at some point. Like
There's no bodies.
It doused before it would be completely burned. There's no body on it.
Well, and the cemetery.
The graves nearby have no names on the tombstones.
There's no sign of any kind of a deity.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'll give a sign of Lathander as we pass on by then.
Right.
May they rest in peace.
Okay. So as you start to pass by and head to the southwest direction, you've all got your backs to this gallows when suddenly you kind of hear the crackling of flames and smell smoke on the air. And as you turn back, it is in flames, and you see a limp form tied to one of the standing pillars. And Shadow, when you look at it, it's you. It looks like you.
Oh, that's good.
The rest of you, it doesn't. Yeah, so the rest of you see a form, but it doesn't.
Is this, do I?
So she's the only one who recognizes herself there.
It's
something that's happening, or that it's a vision.
It looks real.
Mm.
It's burning. Crackle.
Do we have anything that can put this fire out? Because I'm on fire over there.
What?
You're standing up beside me. I'm the one with the wine.
I know that, but that looks like me.
Harry, you've had lots of drink. Put out the fire.
From this distance, I'm not that great a name.
Yummy.
But I will go over.
Wasn't this one of our clues? To find the woman above the fire?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that clue was
Discarded.
That was a discarded.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was. Oh, you're right. Yes, I got that crossed out.
Yeah, sorry for that confusion, by the way.
Nonetheless, I want to take a closer look. Hello!
Yeah. How close are you getting? You, because right now it's bonfire sized, but you guys were, a good 80 feet away before you kind of heard and smelled it.
Closer, but not to the point that, I can get burned.
Okay.
Yeah, well, let's get as close as we can without actually feeling too much heat.
You actually discover, as you move closer and closer, that you don't feel any heat from the fire. And
okay.
Yeah. And in fact, as you get closer and closer, it just the image sort of just dissolves into mist, and it just looks like the burned, half-burned, empty pyre again.
Is the woman still hanging over it? Or the form, I should say? Nope.
That the body disappeared along with the rest of the fire.
It feels like in a dream. I heard something about this once, but then it faded quickly and got crossed out of my sheet.
More ghosts. Come on, this is just designed to confuse.
I suspect we'll find many echoes of bad things that have happened here.
Yeah.
Or that might be happening. Or, to come.
You're not on fire. And we'll make sure to not let you be on fire. How's that?
Yeah, I don't want to end up on fire. If I end up on fire, I'm blaming all of you, and I'm going to come back and haunt you.
Apparently you won't have a choice.
Get in line.
Yeah.
Still, I might recommend we carry a little more water.
Is this something that, if I do an Arcana check, is this something that I can recall about, lore or a spell or some sort of magic thing that I know of?
Well, yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Okay.
5 seconds. switch to have the right thing. What you basically, the thing that kind of comes to mind is that they, the type of people who get burned at the stake are usually witches.
Oh, goody!
Yeah.
I should have really asked if there were people who were afraid of magic in the area from those fellows. I'd have to be a little more conservative about my magic use.
Let's keep going.
Yes, let's be on our way.
All right.
Indeed.
So, you're making your way up the bigger road, the southwest road. And let's see. Okay, you follow the dirt road as it clings to the side of a mountain. And you're definitely rising in elevation. You have a number of switchbacks. You're, going one way and then the other way to go around the slope, but you're definitely traveling uphill and rising in elevation pretty significantly over time as you travel back and forth. You're in hills and then you kind of go back into a more forested area and you're traveling back and forth. And you're making that, you're following that path for maybe another good hour and a half before you reach a bridge. And this path ends before this arching bridge of mold-encrusted stone that spans a natural chasm. Gargoyles cloaked in black moss perch on the corners of the bridge. Their frowns weather-worn. On the mountainous side of the bridge, a waterfall spills into a misty pool nearly 1,000 feet below. The pool feeds a river that meanders into the fog-shrouded pines that blanket the valley.
We must have been climbing a good deal if it's 1,000 feet below now.
Yeah.
How tired is everybody? Do we need to rest?
Been walking for hours.
You guys are adventurers. You're fit enough that you can walk all day.
I do need to go for a little bit of a visit to a tree.
Hurry up, Cupcake. We got a place.
Yeah. So there's I've uncovered the falls there. So.
Oh, so they're right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can see from the bridge, the actual falls are like 3/4 of a mile away, but they're big enough that you see them. And you're right now. It's a chasm, so the river is really far below the bridge.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And they're pretty sheer, and they're like kind of wet with moisture that's drifting away from the falls. So you do get the sense that if you had like come along the river from the lower path, it would be very difficult to climb up here without actual gear. So,
What does that say?
Waterfall of Wizard M.
Yes.
Nobody can ever remember that guy's name. It's just M.
all right.
Marmaduke.
Mickey.
So are you heading across the bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Okay. So you're continuing through, and you see definitely that you are making your way further into mountains. And there's, when you're crossing the bridge, incidentally, when you look off to the east, you can see in sort of a rare moment where the fog isn't just kind of completely shrouding everything, you can see across a bit of a valley to see the castle in the distance.
Okay.
But there's a mountain kind of, you're about to pass with the mountain between you and the castle. And you make your way another hour or so until you come to another set of gates, like the ones that you passed through on your way into Barovia the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But just before the gates is another crossroads. So even here, the forest and the fog are inescapable, and ahead, the dirt road splits into widening toward the east. There, you see patches of cobblestone, suggesting that the eastern branch was once an important thoroughfare.
There's no road sign then.
No, not here, but Ismark just says, to the east is Castle Ravenloft.
Oh. Well,
We would want to continue through the gates.
I would think we would want to go to, if we're going to Vlarki.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Through the gates then.
All right, and like the first time, these enormous gates, they're the same size as the other one. As you approach, they open. And
No sentries or anything.
You don't see anybody.
Okay.
Well, that's a good sign.
very well designed. The last of the centuries. Some magic has been known to last for millennia. And if you're going to build gates, you want to like them last, after all.
All right. You guys are getting lucky with random encounters, by the way.
There's nothing to worry about. The forest is empty.
All right.
Funny.
So
Do
you
the,
make
Famous last words.
yeah.
We're now officially screwed.
Do the gates close behind us?
yes, they do. As after you've passed through them, just like the further east gates. So, as you make your way following this road for another hour and a half or so, I'm not keeping careful track of the of how much time has passed. By the way, I think you get the feeling that you're about halfway there. We'll say you've been traveling since you left the Vistani camp. Something around the neighborhood of 3 hours.
These little triangles, is that meant to indicate like a hill?
Yeah, change
So
in
we're in
elevation. Yeah, so you're in a mountainous area right now.
And we're about to pass into a defile where the road is at the bottom of a bowl with heights on either side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are continuing to pass through. You're traveling for another, like I said, another hour and a half. I'm not used to doing random encounters. It's not how I run so many levels, so I'm just doing it. Okay. You guys continue to not encounter anyone or anything. You're just traveling through these misty roads, and you've noon has come and gone, but it's still very overcast. In fact, you're sort of wondering, I would imagine, if you really ever see just the sun just straight up here. You haven't so far.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's there.
But you now have reached another crossroads, and you discover that to the west, about a quarter mile off the road, you see a windmill in the distance up on a hill.
The windmill under no circumstances are we to go. So,
Yeah.
are we to go?
Last one there's a rotten egg.
We have some feeling it might be the place where that pastry sailor might go, right?
No, that windmill is past Vlarki.
No.
No,
That's,
the winery is.
yeah.
Oh, the winery is. Okay, I
Or-
thought the
I know the wine's
mill,
on my mind.
but the
This is the only windmill that has been mentioned.
Okay, so it's all the same one. All right. Yeah, we're definitely going there.
All right. I don't think we should bring Lucius.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Okay.
in fact, I think
Lucius or Lucian?
Lucian.
Lucian.
Lucian and Ismark and his sister should probably stay out.
Well, I don't feel comfortable just leaving them out to hang in the wind here.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
they're
feel
like,
comfortable leaving
I
them alone.
don't want to separate. Not out here.
All right. Well, you hang back, stay where we can see you, but don't engage.
engage.
Protect the child.
Okay. So you're going to have them. You're going to approach the windmill and have them sort of hang back what by the crossroads, or how far away?
No more than 50 yards.
Okay.
Is there any place there for them to take cover? Any trees or something they could?
No, because basically what we've got here is you're climbing up a hill that the
Okay.
windmill is at the top.
I see. Okay. All right. So we just asked them to keep their distance while we go check this out, but stay within sight.
Alright.
And if there's anything you might see that might be of danger, call out to us.
Okay. All right. So as you start to climb this hill, the old Svalich Road transitions here from being a winding path through the Balanok Mountains to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainside as it descends into a fog-filled valley. In the heart of the valley, you see a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake. In fact, let me just go ahead and reveal that then, because it says you can see it from here. So,
I can see my lake from here.
yeah. So because you can see it, you're in this mountainous area, and it is the slope that leads down into this valley. So through the forest, you can now see town, which is, Ismark tells you is Vallaki, and it's alongside this lake.
Well, that's not far.
All right.
Yeah.
So, in the heart of the valley, you see a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake. Its waters dark and still. A branch in the road leads west to a promontory, atop which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill. Its warped wooden vanes stripped bare. And let's see if I have.
Oh, do I have it in the wrong place then? I thought I saw them.
I have the map. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. So let me make sure I have it set for what you guys can and can't see here. Hang on, my interface is frozen a little bit here. Okay, there we go. Or not. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a weird glitch in my interface. It's just moving really slow. But okay, so let me move you over to where you see. Hang on, you're briefly going to see stuff that is not what you should be seeing.
I'll close my eyes. Tell me when it's clear.
Yeah. Because the interface here, when there's lots of different maps, it doesn't really have a good way to move the players. Like there's a scroll bar, but when you scroll all the way. Oh well. Anyway, so do you guys see anything, or is it all black?
All black.
All black.
It's all black.
All black.
All right, I can. I should be able to just. Okay, you see it now?
No.
I
Oh
see
yeah.
the windmill.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So this is the
Yes.
windmill that you see, and as you get a little closer, the onion-domed edifice leans forward and to one side as though trying to turn away from the stormy gray sky. You see gray brick walls and dirt-covered windows on the upper floors. A decrepit wooden platform encircles the windmill above a flimsy doorway leading to the building's interior. Perched on a wooden beam above the door is a raven. It hops about and squawks at you, seemingly agitated.
Did the windmill actually move, or is that just perspective?
It did not move.
Okay.
It's just sitting crooked on the cliff, on the hill.
Okay.
It's not completely upright.
Is this another friend of yours, Julius?
I assume every time I see a raven that I'm being sent a signal, but I'm not sure exactly what this one is trying to tell me right now. I could roll a perception check.
It flies up and caws in your face, yeah, and then flies, like, it kind of flies away to, like, go back the other way.
The words of Madame Eve come back to us. What, you want me to draw you a note?
He seems to be telling us to not bother with the windmill and go the other way.
It's wrong. Come on.
Does there seem to be anybody about?
No, you don't see anyone.
I walk up to the front door.
Oh boy.
All right.
What could possibly go wrong?
You guys coming with me?
Yep. I'll come.
It should be interesting anyway.
Safe
Listen
distance.
to the ravens. Listen
Okay.
to the ravens. Listen to the ravens.
Let's see.
Do I smell anything like cooking?
Make a perception check. All right. Yeah, Jasric, you don't really smell anything from outside, but you do see a little bit of smoke coming from a chimney.
Uh-huh.
And Nutty or Shadow, what you you smell and you gather that this is coming from inside. You smell the sweet smell of pastries and also some sort of an awful, like, sort of like toxic rotting smell.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't just smell like a dead thing, though. You've smelled dead things. There's something about this particular smell is like extra awful in a way that you're actually not familiar with.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, they're cooking pastries in there. This is the windmill, but there is something. It's
You
gnarly.
don't
It's-
say.
Yeah.
Does it smell like feta cheese?
Worse. It's like if you took feta cheese and you left it out and then you put in the vile bile and rot. It just I'm sorry, it's making a bit.
I'm gonna try the door. I'm gonna try the door.
Okay. So first of all, like, are you guys trying to be like secret or stealthy at all as you come up to this place?
I don't see any point.
No.
No.
I'm not
I
that
wanted to go
kind
the
of.
other way. Yeah.
Jazric is just as a point of Jazric is not that kind of hunter. Jazric is not a stealth hunter. He's a persistence hunter.
He's not
He
he's not
doesn't
subtle.
mind-
Yeah.
He doesn't mind if his prey know he's coming. They know that he's not going to stop.
All
That's
right.
what kind of hunter he is.
As you approach the door, by the way, the raven, it kind of, caw, caw, but then it flies away, like it's not sticking around.
Okay.
Even the raven's given up on us. I'll tell you, we should follow the raven.
I don't want to go in there.
All right, so you find the door.
It's not going to be nice.
The door is not locked.
Okay.
So hang on just a second. Let me actually put you, give you some tokens here. Whoops. Hang on. No. Stop. Okay.
By the way, in the background music, there's like every now and then a woman whispering, and it's very creepy.
Yes, kudos on the background.
Tabletopaudio.com. It's brilliant stuff.
All right,
Where's my
let's-
bell? Good plug.
Yeah.
Ding.
All right. So I think I have to still give you your tokens here, like assign them to you so that you can, because I have to do this like on every new map.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose I could separately go through and do this, for each map ahead of time. But I don't necessarily know when you guys might decide to actually go and enter this windmill.
The place that we were told to stay far, far away from? Yeah. Why would you have thought of that?
Just because the
Avoided
crow said,
at all costs.
just because the crow said no.
And the colorful dudes.
The Vistani.
Yeah, them.
Alright, and I think...
Father, what's his face, also said don't go here.
He may have.
In fact, everybody I think has said that.
What Father Donovich told you, all he knew is that the woman who sells the pastries, he thought that she made them here, is all he knew.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so I don't think I have line of sight on, so you guys are probably already seeing this first floor, but probably nothing else.
Yeah.
The first floor? Okay, so you can go ahead and move in whoever's actually going inside. The door was not locked. And so what you see is the ground floor has been converted into a makeshift kitchen, but the room is filthy. Baskets and old dishware are piled everywhere. Adding to the clutter is a peddler's cart, a chicken coop, a heavy wooden trunk, and a pretty wooden cabinet with flowers painted on its doors. In addition to the clucking of the chickens, you hear toads croaking. The sweet smell of pastries blends horridly with a stench that burns your nostrils. The awful odor comes out of an open, upright barrel in the center of the room. Warmth issues from a brick oven against one wall, and a crumbling staircase ascends the wall across from it. Shrieks and cackles from somewhere higher up cause the old mill to shudder. The ceiling here is about 8 feet high, and you see small human bones littering the floor.
Okay.
Up the stairs. No hesitation.
Okay.
The cackling and shrieking, does it sound like the old lady?
It's more than one voice, but at least one of them does.
Okay, I want to check out the barrel and see what the contents are.
Okay, well, so first, let me you got a couple of things going on because we got Jasric just barreling ahead here. Okay,
That's
so
our Jasric.
what I'll just first say is the barrel holds a glistening greenish black like slime, and you can make an Arcana check if you want.
I don't have any kind of Arcana bonus, so...
Well, it's just
Yeah.
intelligence.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
I come in and I was like,
Okay.
what are you looking at? So there you go.
Yeah, you have heard of something called demon ichor, which can be used for a variety of really awful magical purposes. And you've never seen it before, but you think that might be what this is.
I'll
Demon
cast
what?
detect magic.
Well,
Demon
hang on.
ichor?
So we got too much stuff happening. We got Jasric
Okay.
is barreling ahead because he just heads right upstairs.
Yeah.
He's already upstairs.
Can
Okay.
I just get it was demon what?
Ichor.
Icar.
Okay.
ICHOR. Okay, so...
You might pronounce it Icar.
So, Jasric barrels ahead up the stairs, and so up here you see a haggard, heavy-set old woman. It is the woman that you saw in the town, with a face as wrinkled as a boiled apple, sweeps the floor, pushing around a few old bones and stirring up a cloud of white dust with her broom. She wears a blood-stained, flour-caked apron. A long, sharp bodkin impales her bundled-up mound of gray hair. The dirt-caked windows allow very little light to enter this 8-foot-high chamber, most of which is taken up by a large millstone connected to a wooden gear shaft that rises through the ceiling in the center of the room. A stone staircase continues up towards the sound of loud cackling. This woman looks up at you and just says, "Ah, look who it is. Have you come to buy some more pastries?"
stunned silence.
It's Jasric.
No, I am personally trying to think of what Jasric would say at this point.
Ah, okay.
And do I have? I mean, I'm personally suspect that she is some kind of creature of power, not human. Does Jazric have any thoughts on that? Is she monster or human? That's basically what I want to know. What Jazric established, what he would think. Because if the cackling and stuff is still going on upstairs, he might just push past her and keep on going because she's just some minion.
Right.
But if she's possibly dangerous in herself, he might run his spear through her first and then go past her. So that's what I'm trying to figure out what he was going to do.
Make an intelligence check, and you can make it with advantage.
Wow.
She looks like an old woman that you could shove her over with one hand and she'd just fall on her back and maybe break her hip.
All right, then I'm just going to push right past and head on up to where the cackling is. It's like, out of my way, witch.
Okay. Hold on just a second.
I also want to know what the rest of the party is doing.
Well, yeah, so they're exploring the room while you guys have gone up here.
I'll follow him upstairs.
Make an athletics check, Jazric.
Okay. That I did a little better on.
Okay. She reaches out to grab your arm as you push past, and even though you're able to pull away, you are substantially startled by her being way stronger than you expected.
All right. In that case, I'm on my guard, and I've got my spear out.
Okay. She says, "Not so fast. You're here for business? Then we can do business. Otherwise, be gone with you."
Here's my business. Here's my business, witch, and I'll stab her.
All right. So here's where we're at, you guys. We're close to 5 o'clock, and Jazric is about to initiate combat. So combat could take a while, and if you guys want, I am up for going ahead and proceeding with it now. But it could potentially be like another hour or more if we want.
I need to make dinner.
Everything.
Yeah,
I think it's a great spot to leave.
Okay,
I know.
so I think that
Talk about
instead,
a
yes,
cliffhanger.
this is the cliffhanger. Is that you have attempted to stab this witch, and that's
the
where we'll pick
cliffhanger
things
is,
up.
and I stab her.
I think the better place to leave it is you attempt to stab her.
Yeah.
That's the line. Here's my business, witch.
Yes. All right, so I think that's a good place to stop for now then, and we'll pick up in our next session with finding out what's going on with this old windmill and this old lady and who's cackling upstairs and what's the deal.
And why we find out why we should have followed the Raven.
That's pretty good, though.
Yep.
All right. See you next time, folks.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.